up, Woodward. We are starting off your day with a brand new crew. Meet Broder.
I can't control my arms sometimes. My limbs are just kind of flying.
Detroit Kool-Aid.
Fired up!
Y'all got Kool-Aid.
I'm fired up! But with the Wake Up Woodward crew, he's actually a part of the family.
Flannel Sam.
Ask me about my wiener. Okay.
Along with JB and KG. Wake Up Woodward gets you all of your Detroit sports talk. Every morning, 8 to 10 a.m. Live on Woodward Sports. A show for Detroit, by Detroit, with people from Detroit. Tell Siri to set an alarm. Because it's time to Wake Up Woodward.
What up, though, people? It is time to Wake Up Woodward. We appreciate you guys for choosing to kick off the day with the Woo crew. We got Matt Broder, our credentialed Tigers and Lions reporter and writer for the network, back up on the desk, and it's your boy, Brandon, a.k.a. Detroit Kool-Aid, your credentialed Pistons reporter for the network. Woo!
Good morning.
Tigers trade deadline day, Detroit Lions training camp. A lot of good stuff from Detroit Lions training camp. How was your morning?
My morning has been wild so far. I woke up a little late, which it started poorly, but got on my phone and checked. Jack Flaherty hasn't been traded yet. There's a bidding war brewing, and I'm excited to talk about it. Like, this turned into, maybe get a little prospect, a little single A, double A prospect here and there.
Yeah.
We might be working with something different. We might have something in the works here. I'm excited to talk about it. We're going to go heavy Tigers and Lions today. Like, this is, I hate to say it, and Neil was much more, what's the right word? Much more direct with it. After today, the Tiger season, it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough, depending on and not even depending on what trades they made. We saw the lineup. They trotted out there yesterday.
Yeah.
There's still going to be some storylines to follow. It's great. We'll talk about Dylan Dingler, but this might be the last day we go heavy Tigers. So I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yep. Yeah. And you know what? It's to the point where we kind of know what they are, where they are. You got to see what happens at this trade deadline. I'm waiting to see what Mount Vesuvius, a.k.a. that dude Justin, is going to do.
Yeah.
If the Tigers don't come through with his plan. I want to hear a little bit more about that. But, yeah, the Tigers, it's like, is this the point in the season where the wheels start to fall off for them?
Oh, yeah.
It did not look
saying that with a
good.
smile, but that's part of it. This is again, we'll get into it. This is, you're taking one step back. You're sacrificing the rest of the year to have the opportunity to take like 3 or 4 steps forward next year versus staying put, doing nothing, and maybe you take 1 step forward next year, maybe you take 1 step back. But the upside of taking that step back right now, resetting, bringing in some prospects, it's for the future, and it should set them up better next year.
And that's the hope, and that's what I was going to say. Is like you've been consistent with this, and it's cool to see that's the plan that they're going to follow. Not that the Detroit Tigers couldn't end the season where we thought they could. Right. We saw in the first half of the season, you know what? They played about what we thought their ceiling could be. Maybe a few more games above 500 would have been about the peak. But if that's the best that they can do right now, is exactly what you stated. You got to look out for the future of this entire organization and not just what you can do right now for this year.
100%. 100%. Why you got to look long term, and when we get in more depth, we'll talk the mistakes that previous regimes made. And we got to separate them from this. It's frustrating because it's been 10 years. I get it. It hurts, but they're doing things different right now. And it's much harder to see than like a Lions turnaround, which you see you reap the rewards or the benefits sooner if you're right. With baseball, it takes time. And it's been building the last 2 years. We'll get into it, but it's exciting. We got a great squad. CK, John Effing Lord, Greg, Rando Smalls, Chase Amley, Jan. We got a crew in here. I saw Jonathan Anton, Freddie Felt 313. Devin the Dog was just in studio.
Shout out. Let's get that. Devin the Dog brought through the merch.
He got through the
merch. Let's rock, man. He got the whole entire crew some T-shirts from his brand, man. This is so dope, man. I love this.
Shout out to you, Devin the
51
Dog.
Clothing. Let's rock, man.
I think he just hopped back in his truck. He's working today, but he's got Will on in the background. But
Kid Kool-Aid. Devin the Dog also dropped off Kobe Bryant card for you, brother.
I love
Sick.
that Kobe card.
That's sick.
What year is that?
Yeah. Jeez, 95, 96.
Wait. That's a rookie, right? Is that a Kobe rookie? Wasn't he 96? I think you have a Kobe rookie card in your hand.
Yeah.
I'll look at that during break. Actually, I should probably wait till after the Tigers talk because I'll get distracted and think about cards
9 men.
for the rest of my life.
Goodness gracious. Devin the dog, man. He's a real one. He's a real one. Thank you,
What
brother.
a dude.
Thank
Chat, hit the like button, but thank you all for showing up today, supporting. I know we're going to go around and introduce everybody, but I see you guys flying in there, and I just want to say thank you.
Yep. And I love the attention that you give to the chat family, man. It's dope. And y'all deserve it as well. Chat family, y'all are the most important part of this thing, man.
That's not lip service.
No.
Like, it truly is, and I think it's something we could all do better with, but it's something I want to do better with because it's the one differentiated, what makes us unique versus traditional television or radio, and not taking shots at any of them. The fact that we can have this show and basically produce it live based on what you want in here, we can answer questions. Like, I can't think of all the questions I wish I was able to ask Stuart Scott on SportsCenter or Tony, like, live and ask, no, what about this? What about this?
Yep.
We can do that. So, chat, I love you.
Love y'all. I love y'all. And you know what I was gonna say before before I go to the rest of the cast and the crew to kind of put a bow on the Tigers and the Lions, we were kind of talking about how quickly the Lions did this thing. But what spurred the Lions turnaround? That trade of Matthew Stafford.
Your franchise quarterback.
Is Tarek Skubal? Does he represent kind of that first year of Brad Holmes as GM jumpstarting the Detroit Lions? Is that the case? Like, I don't want to trade Skubal. Like, at the time, I didn't want to trade Stafford. Right. That was a gut punch, man.
For draft picks and a quarterback?
I know we got it on. I know we got it on the sheet. So we'll get more into it. It is trade deadline day. Broder's back in the building. But let's bring in the rest of the cast and the crew.
Tell them.
That dude, Justin, he's getting fueled up over there. You're looking fired up. Hey, I like the merch, too. I love the shirt.
Yeah, I was about to say, more looking fire than fired up because Devin the dog got me looking dripped out right now. Hey, shout out to him, too, because he walked in, he was like, oh, I knew you would want something a little more poppy, something that you can wear to raves. And I was like, okay, what is he about to ball? He balls out this bad boy. I was like, oh, damn.
Yeah.
So shout out to Devin the dog. I appreciate it so much. And make sure you go hit up his merch because that's so dope.
Yeah. That's dope, man. It's so dope. I love the relationship we got with the chat family. And Chase, man, we're gonna Mr. Amley, we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk soon.
Chase.
We'll talk soon. But shout out to our elite booth. In the sound booth, we got Detroit's #1 draft pick. That is KG, aka Black Hollywood. Build.
What up, though?
What up, though? What up, though? What up, though?
Big shout out to Devin for the shirts. I ran into him before I came in, man. Good dude, man. I just really rock with Devin. I appreciate him bringing the shirts through. But yeah, man, why haven't the Tigers traded FLAHERTY yet?
It's a good thing.
For Broder. It was for Broder.
It's a good thing.
I guess.
You say that like it's a bad thing. It's a good thing.
You see the Neil rule in the Ryan Ermanni type power that Matthew Broder has?
Yeah.
He hit us last night like, hey, look, I need Jack FLAHERTY to not get traded before our show. And then look what the Tigers did.
They listen.
Hey, they listen.
They listen.
They did.
They listen. It's a good bidding wars. This may stretch closer to 6 o'clock.
I just don't want him to bid all the way to the end and all the teams pull out and say, yeah, we're good.
Pull-out game. The Yankees pull-out game is not strong.
Yeah.
Let me tell you that. That team wants to win.
That's a good one.
And they got the money for it,
and
right?
other pitchers are flying off the board.
Yeah.
With FLAHERTY, who is the #1 pitcher on the market, not named Tarek Skubal.
He
still
just
there.
said they're Wilt Chamberlain, bro.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
Oh.
Magic Johnson. Ooh. It's always the Laker players. You ever noticed?
Oh,
my
snap.
God.
Shout out to the Lakers. Hey, LeBron, stay safe, bro. Stay safe.
You're right. It's crazy out here. Your streets is crazy, man.
Oh, man. Broder, you want to tell the people what we will discuss
I
today?
will have to introduce JB
Oh,
Smooth.
that is right.
All right, don't forget Jay Bizzle.
On a Tuesday at that, too.
good
Shout
Lord.
out to Woodward Sports' MVP in the Diddy booth on a Tuesday.
Areola.
That is JB Smooth.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Hey, once again, shout out to Devin. Look at this.
That's fire.
This is fire,
That's
bro.
fire. I can't wait to get mine.
Like, come on. I don't know where he comes up with these designs, but I'm telling you right now, they're fire. If you haven't checked out his shop, go and check it out right now. Amazing designs, man. Shout out to him once again for stopping by. giving us some merch. And you know what? He's probably on his way to work right now, but I know he's got us in the background. So just shout out to you once again, my man.
Shout out. Hey, let's show this one real quick. If you got that one shot, man. This one is it's so fire, man. I just want to make sure he's getting his just due. It's fire. Welcome to Detroit. You know what?
Y'all check out 51 Clothing, man.
Thank you to Devin Dog.
And he made it personalized for all of us, and that's so special. That's so cool.
That's what I'm like. Yo, I just saw the "Welcome to Detroit" at the bottom.
Yeah,
just like the signed shirt. Devin,
you can have it.
Dog, man, right the feels, man. Let's go.
I'm wearing this tomorrow. But I got the Old English B.
Isn't that so fire?
With the Tiger and Alliance. It's like over the Tigers and the Lions.
That's sick, man.
And it's black because I sweat a lot, and so I have to wear black shirts in this studio.
Oh,
I don't even think he knew that, but he pulled it off anyway.
That's crazy.
Detroit. You know what?
I got to see mine now. Everybody got a personalized shirt.
This one is definitely replacing the sign.
No, technically, I was.
I know.
JB Smooth.
What's up?
This is now replacing my "Welcome to Detroit" signed shirt.
It better.
I will no longer pester you on the merch reads anymore.
It can
Devin.
It can be a bathroom rug now, like it should be.
Y'all gotta thank Devin, man. Oh man, but let's tell the people what we're gonna discuss today.
We're talking Tigers trade deadline till 9 o'clock. At 9 o'clock, we're talking Lions training camp. That's the show.
That's the show.
That's it. That's it. There aren't. I have like information in our show sheet, but not a lot of true structure. So chat, like, I want you to ask questions about this deadline. I want to talk scenarios. We'll get the conversation started, but I do want to direct this towards what you guys want to talk about. There's so many directions. It's bizarre, but these 1 year rentals are turning into something for the Tigers. Obviously, the Scuba conversation is still out there, but just in general, I want you guys to run it. So when we get back from our first break, let's hop into it. Let's talk.
Let's talk.
Crew, I need you. We all need to watch this chat for questions and just let the show run. Then we're going to talk training camp because the fellas put the pads on down in Allen Park yesterday.
Ooh.
And although weren't you guys down there? I don't think any of us were down there.
No.
Easy was
Easy was down there.
Yeah.
The energy was insane.
Mm-hmm.
And non-season ticket holding fans were down there too. So the electricity down there was impeccable. There's some dudes I really want to talk about. I'm excited. Yeah. I'm excited to see. Again, it's training camp, and we got a couple more weeks of it. But hey, when the guys perform, when you hear Ennis Rakestraw doing bad things with pads on, I get excited about that, and I want to talk about it.
Damn right.
And I'm fired up, man. Like, shout out to Corey Woods of the M Live. I'm fired up. Shout out to my boy Corey Woods of the M Live. Formerly of Woodward Sports as well. He had an interview and a great question to Terry and Arnold about how he's adjusting to Detroit and how he's, how has it been? He said, bro, that high that I had on draft night in Detroit, when I just kind of looked at the crowd, he was like, I get that high every single day waking up in Detroit. Bro, I'm fat.
Right.
Bro, I was like, let's go. And these are the vibes. These are the vibes that they're training under. Super Bowl expectations. A city that's on the rise. I do too. I love Terry Arnold, bro. Like, I'm excited. We're gonna get into it. This is a pretty good show.
I didn't realize how good of friends J-Mo and Terry Arnold were at Alabama.
He needed this.
Like,
J-Mo needed
Terry
this.
was his little bro. And now he's grown, J-Mo says. But, like, Terry was a baby when J-Mo was graduating. Now they're back on the team. You made a comment right there. He needed this. Mm-hmm. I don't know everything about J-Mo's life, but you got to imagine Terry on this team only helps push this kind of a budding star forward.
It's like he partly became the Jamison Williams that put him on the map for the Detroit Lions alongside some of these players, practicing with these players, iron sharpening iron with these types of players. So it's like, I'm excited that he has this here. People who understand who he is can better make that connection. We talked about Jared Goff and the comfortability that he had with previous wide receivers that were here, like Josh Reynolds, as well as the connection he has with Khalif Raymond. I'm not going to diminish what that can mean for Jamison Williams. And we see, at least as it relates to training camp. Sorry, Flannel, I know you're on vacation. I'm about to ruin it, but I'm on victory lap number 20. Did you see how he looked in the pads? Did you look how he see?
J-Mo.
Woo!
J-Mo.
J-Mo. J-Mo. Hey, look at that jersey watch. Let's go.
Let's go.
J-Mo jersey.
Come on back. Talking Tigers trade deadline for the next couple segments. But Kool-Aid, first, tell them about Premier Pet Supply.
I will. Give your pet the best Premier Pet Supply is hands down Michigan's best pet store. They offer you the same prices and all the conveniences of the online and the big box retailers with one major difference. They've been family and locally owned for over 30 plus years. They offer over 60 brands of food, and they got nutrition experts to help you. They also give you same-day local curbside and home delivery. You can get your pets the best any way that you want. Premier Pet Supply. Give your pets the best. Visit them online as well, www.premierpetsupply.com.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
At Planet Fitness, you can get everything you need for just $1 down.
Try out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Hey, y'all better get on these free fitness training sessions from Planet Fitness.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home?
Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
Join Planet Fitness today and get everything you need for just $1 down. $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends Thursday, July 18th.
Thank you to all the fans for making Woodward Sports your #1 online destination for Detroit sports. We promise not to drop the ball.
So what happens when you run a great business for over 50 years?
Tell me about
it. You
it.
expand, you offer more products to more people, and that's exactly what Les Stanford did when they had a Les Stanford Buick GMC. They still have the same great service that their customers have come to know and trust. So go check them out. They're located on Woodward Avenue, just south of 9 Mile Road. You can also check them out at their flagship dealership in Dearborn today at lesstanford.com. Les Stanford Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. And you can drive there. Don't consume while you're there and then drive back, but go to Dispo and pick up your goods. Go there. They got $10 of free products from Dispo Dispensary. Because they're giving away with a minimum purchase of $25. Just screenshot the image above my head with the QR code and bring it to any Dispo location, and you'll get that free $10 to spend in-store. Visit Dispo Dispensary today or disposhops.com. They're your local cannabis plug.
Let's go. Welcome back to Wake Up Woodward. We got a packed show. It's the Jungle Cats today, the Tigers and the Lions. A lot of expectations with the Lions and with the Tigers. We're pressing the wheels, have fallen off the bus button already. But it's for a necessary step back because we want to see this team be able to bolster and properly build around some of this young talent that's really starting to percolate right now. I guess the least of the news last night, the Tigers lost to the Guardians 8-4. But shout out to Dylan Dingler for his first career Major League Baseball hit.
Yeah, he's the catching prospect they just called up after the Carson Kelly trade. I think he started 0 for 3, maybe with a walk, and it was his last at-bat that he had a hit. I don't know. I like his approach. I like his swing. The scouting report was out there because Tanner Bybee started him off his first at-bat with just 4 fastballs at the top of the strike zone, just heat right by him. So there are some things that he's got to adjust. So it's going to be fun watching him for the next 2 months. I'd encourage all you. He's going to struggle at some point. I don't think he's going to have 2 straight months of as hot as he was in Toledo before he got called up. But remember Colt Keith and how he struggled at the beginning of the year. Then he would show some flashes. He would struggle a little bit, some flashes. Then it started to click a little more where the hot streak or the consistent streak lasted a little bit longer, the adjustments he made. So just keep an eye out for Dylan Dingler to make adjustments throughout these next 2 months. You hope as a hit-first catcher, I like to think they have maybe a better opportunity, seeing so many pitches each game, to make those adjustments. But no, it was great to see him out there out there yesterday. Did you watch the game, KG, or see him hit?
No, I got to see the highlights. He got his first extra base hit and first ribby, man. So shout out to him for doing that. And yeah, I just look forward to what he can bring, man. Swing just looks smooth. Looks like he will have to adjust, but he won't have much trouble adjusting, if that makes sense. So yeah, just looking forward to what he can bring, man, in a Tigers lineup that's really depleted right now. So
how about the other guy they called up, Deuces? Brian Sammons. I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't know much about this guy until he came up. But he came in relief of Bo Brisky, who got the start after Jack Flaherty was scratched from his start or moved to Thursday. This guy, Brian Sammons, comes in after Bo Brisky starts the first 2 outs, gives up 5 hits, 3 earned runs. He pitched 7 1/3 innings pitched, gave up 4 hits and 3 home runs, but it was a really good performance out of him. And AJ Hinch talked about it after the game. It was a gritty performance. That's not easy to get called up that day, run out against Jose Ramirez, and a really good Guardians lineup that got better yesterday, by the way, with the addition of a new outfielder. Tigers killer just crushed him. I mean, it was a Jose Ramirez show, and Brian Sammons was the victim.
It was bound to happen. Jose Ramirez hasn't necessarily had a game this year where he's just absolutely thrown the bathroom sink at the Tigers, and that's what happened last night. I also love Dingler. I know I didn't get to say anything about that, but I love Dingler.
Yeah. Talk about
and
it.
I love that was brought up now with the move of Carson Kelly, because like you said, Colt Keith struggled in the beginning of the year. You're getting those struggles out of the way right now.
Yep.
Until the season is over, Dingler will be playing consistently, and because of that, you're hopefully going to see a better start to the season come April, when he's most likely on our opening day roster, either as a starting or backup catcher.
Yeah.
I like that. Man, hearing about our Tigers from our baseball knowers, hey, it's a service that I enjoy. Thank you guys. But you know what? We got Tony D, and I think it helps us transition more into this kind of trade talk, because it is trade deadline day. Tony D says 10 years of trading away players is where we are at. It sucks. And so
I feel that.
I feel it. I feel it because we want our teams. We've invested. We know how Detroit sports fans are. We understand that our blood, our heart, it pumps partly because of Detroit sports. The connections that we have, the fact that we're all here doing this right now and have what will be lifelong bonds is all because of and thanks due to Detroit sports. Some of the best memories and moments I had over the last winter, it was because of Detroit sports. Michigan football, KG and Broder and people who were showing up like, Brady, we were having a heck of a time, man. Shout out Booner, everybody. It's because of Detroit sports, man. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. That's why we're here. That's why we're doing what we're doing. And I get it. If people are going to be, they're tired, man. They're tired of the losing.
Tired.
All of our teams, the Pistons and the Tigers, 2 teams that really gave us some peaks. And now all of a sudden, you have a whole generation of fans who have no idea what we're talking about when we really discuss the going to work Pistons.
And the Lions didn't do any help, didn't do this Tigers team any service with the energy and the positivity that they brought, because we were so excited going into the season and saw some real flashes with this team. We got a taste of winning, a taste of them being legit for a little bit, especially the first, 2 weeks of the season.
Yeah.
So that kind of shot our expectations forward a little bit, or at least I felt that maybe we got a little bit ahead of ourselves, not realizing how young they were, how long a baseball season is. But let's not let that bring us down. Let's use that energy and can you imagine if this team is a consistent winner, competing at the top of the AL Central all season, whether that's next year or the year after? That's the goal, and that's going to feel so good being able to have a good baseball team that we can talk about every single day. Because baseball, man, it's every day, so there's always a game.
Yeah. When
you're losing consistently, it's difficult. But that's why this trade deadline is so important, because we're at this weird middle ground between the last regime, the last 10 years, what the Tigers have been versus what the Tigers are turning into, or what we think Scott Harris is wanting to build this team into. And I'm going to be honest, and he hasn't been perfect. I'm a fan of what Scott Harris has been doing. I see the long-term vision, and it's taken time, and it doesn't always look pretty, but he's trying to build that sustainable foundation. He's trying to find his Amon-Ra St. Browns, his Cade Cunninghams, his his Jared Goff. Like you're diamond in a rough that out of nowhere becomes your leader. Like, is that Cole Keith in the future? Like we'll see who they turn into, but they're trying to build that foundation. And with baseball, unless you're going to, and you have a right to ask for spending, unless you're going to spend aggressively, you got to start in your minor league system and build it up. Because what we're going to talk about here, specifically with the Yankees, the power that the Tigers have right now, or the lack of power that the Yankees have to keep some of their top prospects out of a deal for a rental pitcher, because they don't have depth in their minor league system. And you can't plan your organization around trading your prospects at some future deadline, but you at least have to build a robust, deep system that has players other teams attract. Like, the dream is to build an Orioles-type system where you can have a competing major league team and absolute studs in the minor league system. That seems to be what Scott Harris is trying to do, starting with his first draft class and the guys in single and double A.
And what I'm going to do is this. There's a couple people here in the chat because I know we talk on the show and then we also talk off the show as well. So there's a lot of context, a lot of perspective, and a lot of work that you do as well covering the Tigers on the ground level. But you get a little bit of pushback from some people in the chat. Terrell Lamar, Broder is selling hope. Weezy D313, nah, I don't like Scott Harris. I'm not going cat.
And can I ask Weezy why? Like specifically why? Because there are reasons out there. Yeah. And I hope I can answer the reverse. And yes, I am selling hope to Terrell Lamar because I know what.
Yeah, break it down.
I know what this team, or I see what this team is trying to do, and it gives me hope that they are doing it the right way. And that's the difference between the past 10 years. It hasn't been done the right way. And we're talking about selling pitchers on a good team. Like the Verlander trade comes up all the time. Like, it's a completely different situation than where the Tigers are right now, at the bottom of the barrel, looking to get back into contention versus being at the top, trying to find the right pieces to compete at the major league level right now. It's the trickiness of baseball. It's tricky.
Yep. And I do wonder sometimes how much the Troy Weaver era with the Pistons, because Detroit sports fans, they stay tapped in, how much that allows the fans of the Tigers and what they're trying to do right now to really kind of take this more disdained approach with what they're doing, because they did wait. And then we were promised the restoration. We were promised, you know what, we know that we've been down for 10 years, but it's okay. We got this thing right around the corner. And then all of a sudden, a couple good moves, a couple things that show some promise, but ultimately the worst teams that we've seen really in Detroit Pistons history. Now with the Tigers, I think that the patience, I believe that it affects that with the fans. Now all of a sudden they're sitting here saying, I know Scott Harris just got here, but we've been waiting for this team to do something for a long time. And then there's one big caveat, one that the Pistons don't really face. In a cap space league, their owner will open up the pocketbook. But in a league with no cap, the Tiger fans know that they also have that one hurdle of, is Chris Ilitch going to come out of his character, out of his shell, and do something to really accelerate and bolster this? And so I think that it puts fans in this position to just be like, you know what? We've seen this already before. We've already seen this show. We've seen this rodeo. Actually do something. It's like that meme with the stick. It's like, do something. I think that's what really all fans of at least the Pistons and the Tigers are waiting for.
100%. If the last big purchase you made, you were convinced to do it, someone entrusted someone to make that decision, do the scouting, create the right trade. That's what happened to Chris Ilitch the last time with the last GM, with Javi Baez, with all the foolish trades of the past. Like, I would be, if I have $50 billion, I would be hesitant handing out another $150 million to somebody, like anybody. So I get it on his end. On the other end, there comes a point where you do have to put a competitive product out in the field.
Yeah. It's that balance of, we talked about it with Trajan Langdon. It's like, we know where the fans are. Is he going to be somebody that's going to enter this thing and do it based on what the fans have gone through? Or is he somebody that's entering this job and saying, you know what, I have to do this thing the right way, no matter how long it takes. Understanding, though, that you have this window of generally 3 to 5 years based on the way that NBA contracts are structured, both for your players as well as for your front office personnel.
Yeah.
And you can't go, as Tom Gores as the owner, 20 years of directionless basketball. You know what I mean? And so is that what Scott Harris gets here? Because you're right. You got to put
with nothing.
He
came here with a horrible system.
Does he? This is what I will ask. Does he need to have a type of trade deadline in offseason as kind of a relatively new GM here, and we're saying give him his time, like Trajan? Now, we know that some of the moves that were made were moves that were already rumored, but the Pistons are going to be a much more watchable product next year. And I'm not saying that the Tigers aren't right now. Well, I don't know. The bats are crazy. Yeah. The bats they're about to be, you're right.
Borderline,
But does he need to have that type of, and Chris Hillage, do they need to have that type of a, from trade deadline to winter meetings to offseason and everything in between, that type of a time? That type of effect? Like the Pistons are going to be watchable.
It might not all need to be jammed into this next 6 months.
Off season, yeah.
But that doesn't mean this next 6 months aren't hugely important to the future and moves they have to make. Let's talk about that when we come back. But Kool-Aid, tell them about the Allied Challenge.
Hey, I will. You guys already know you got to tap in. The real ones know about Hole 17. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that in a little bit. I know KG know about Hole 17 as
Can't
well.
give up the secrets, bro.
Hey,
Come on now.
you know what? Let me tell you about it. Look. The Allied Challenge presented by McLaren is back August 22nd through the 25th at Warwick Hills. The PGA Tour champion, they are returning. So what do you got to do? Leave the golf to the pros and don't miss the party at Hole 17. $2 birdie beers, concerts, and more. That and more, you got to be there to find out. Get your tickets at alliedchallenge.com and we'll see you there.
Braylon with your Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around. Who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola? Really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets?
Nobody! The Allied Challenge presented by McLaren is back August 22nd through 25th at Warwick Hills and Grand Blanc. Be there for PGA Tour Champions Golf, Family Night, concerts, and more. Tickets start at just $15. Get yours at alliedchallenge.com today.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
The Great American Chevy Week is back and bigger than ever at Feldman Chevrolet. Choose from the largest inventory of award-winning Chevys, all priced to move for the biggest week of the year. Get this 2024 Silverado for only $213 a month, or this 2024 Equinox for as low as $249 a month. Feldman takes the Great American Chevy Week to another level. Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Fitness that fits your budget. No matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness close by. There's like 50 in Metro Detroit and thousands more throughout the world. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, friendly, knowledgeable staff, and a totally judgment-free zone. Did you know that all Planet Fitness memberships, they include fitness training for no extra cost? You can also get the PF Black Card, which gives you access to the PF Black Card Spa, which has a hydro massage bed, tanning salons, massage chairs, all the amenities you can ask for. And it really is the greatest gym. I belong there. I encourage you to go get a membership. For more information or to join today, visit your local Planet Fitness or www.planetfitness.com.
Let's go. Welcome back to Wake Up Woodward Chat family. As always, you guys are the most important part of this entire Woo Crew thing. So go on ahead, smash that like button, satisfy that like button, treat it nice, treat it right. Y'all already know.
Hey, we going up on a Tuesday, y'all. Y'all know what it is. Go ahead, pick up that phone real nice and slow. Don't do it too fast now. And go ahead and press that like button for the crew. We love you.
Satisfy that like button. We got the ad-libs of FAB back in the building. Welcome back, man. It's your boy Brandon, aka Detroit Kool-Aid. We got Matthew Broder on the desk as well. And we're still talking about these Detroit Tigers. And we got to get the rest of the crew, chat, everybody's comments and engagement. Why? Because it's trade deadline day. And Jack Flaherty, pitcher Jack Flaherty, things are getting hot. They honored your request. They held off so we could do this show.
Thank you.
And so I need you to be able to break down Jack Flaherty at the trade deadline. I know there's some things we've already seen go down. And I want you to be able to tell me what does this mean as it relates to his value and what the Tigers can definitely get for Jack Flaherty.
I can do that. I can't tell you
bet
what
you can.
I can't tell you what they can definitely get for him, but we can go over some
Oh,
options.
you know what? There you go.
Yeah. Jack Flaherty waking up yesterday, so 24 hours ago, Jack Flaherty was the number one pitcher on the market, not named Tarek Skubal, the number one pitcher available. Then what happened? Something happened yesterday. Later in the day, later in the night, it involved the Astros and the Blue Jays.
Talk through to me.
The Houston Astros acquired left-handed pitcher Yusei Kikuchi from the Blue Jays for 3 minor league prospects. I shouldn't even say that. 3 major league ready prospects. The number 9 prospect in the Astros organization, Jake Bloss, who has been pitching in the major leagues.
Mm-hmm.
Their number 13 prospect, infield outfielder Will Wagner, and another infield outfielder, Joey Loperfido. I want to remind you guys, Yusei Kikuchi, he's a rental too. He's a free agent at the end of this season, so they get him for 2 months. He's got like a 4.25, 4.3 ERA, a couple more innings pitched than Flaherty in 4 starts, but significantly worse stats. He hasn't had a best year. I actually like the player, but this is what we call a prospect haul for a rental. Like, this is where the Jack Flaherty bidding war got taken to another level. There were other teams involved. The Brewers were involved, but they might not be with their Frankie Montas trade, who they acquired from the Reds. But the key one is this Yusei Kikuchi deal. And this is where now the Jack Flaherty conversations that you're having with the Yankees, with the Orioles. Maybe the Dodgers are still interested, even though they got, what was it, Michael Kopech yesterday? They got right-handed pitcher Michael Kopech. Royals acquired Michael Lorenzen. There are some competing teams that are taking some of the other starting pitching off the market, but not the ones that the Yankees are competing with, or Orioles, or Red Sox, Mets. Like, there are a lot of variables in play that now lead to Jack Flaherty not just getting single-A, double-A prospects that you're looking for lottery tickets that maybe show up in 2 years, 2-3 years. You can go after some top dudes in organizations right now. And with the Yankees specifically, and we'll start there, they don't have a very deep minor league system.
They don't.
They got a couple really good prospects at the top, and then it dips off. The Orioles are very balanced, just as an example. But the Yankees got a couple guys at the top, Spencer Jones.
Gleyber Torres.
Yes, Chase Hampton. Gleyber Torres, I want nothing to do with, by the way.
I feel you.
Nothing.
He wouldn't be bad on the Tigers. That's all I'm saying.
Bro, you got the chat, man.
What? Did I say Coochie?
Yeah.
Chuckle cheese.
Yeah. I don't know.
Coochie, la. Who is this player? Herb Nats, what you say? Coochie?
I just blacked out. When did I say it?
Coochie, baby.
I think you said it like at the beginning when you started, but I was kind of confused. I'm like, who is this player?
Mike G.
Is this a real player?
Coochie again?
You said
Is this an NCAA player that we just made up?
Kikuchi.
I keep looking at the chat like, what?
Kikuchi.
Say you want a Coochie?
You say Kikuchi.
Mike G.
Hey,
you say
Oh,
Kikuchi.
man.
he goes to the Astros.
Yeah.
So, I do know one of the players that the Tigers are looking for or focused on with the Yankees, Chase Hampton. He's a right-handed pitcher. He's their top pitching prospect. The Yankees' top pitching prospect. They need a top-of-the-line starter. They need Flaherty. That would really help them out chase a World Series this year. They got Spencer Jones, an outfielder, their top prospect. And then they got Chase Hampton, who has missed time this year. He was on the 60-day IL with a strained UCL, question mark, that like pre-Tommy John. Those are the concerns with the elbow injury. So the Tigers not only want their top pitcher, but because of the injury, they want at least one more prospect as some Swiss insurance, as a reason in case they have to sit, in case Chase Hampton does get hurt and he's got to go down for 12, 18 months with Tommy John. They're at least getting something else out of it.
Just really quickly on that.
Let it fly.
With a pitching coach like Chris Fetter, can you, and you're a pitcher, like what type of role do they play in being able to maybe help pitchers be set up to try and avoid those types of injuries or be a little bit more durable?
Makes it a huge difference. Like that's where we talk about why you make this trade with Flaherty and the hypothetical situation of being able to bring him back. Something sounds, you hear a little echo there?
Yeah,
Something sounds
weird.
a little different. But, chat, let me know if you can still hear me. This is where, when you're talking about convincing a guy like Flaherty or any pitcher to come play for the Tigers or to come back and continue your career with the Tigers, it's because of Chris Fetter and Robin Lund and Juan Nieves, their core pitching staff. When you have a pitching coach that you trust to help you mechanically, philosophically, athletically, it makes a world of difference. It's not the same situation, but why some players, NFL players, would want to come play for Dan Campbell. They trust the head coach to put him in the right situation to not get hurt, to help maximize your career.
A good point.
You know, maybe not the perfect comp, but with pitchers these days, especially if you're throwing hard, especially if you're injury prone, you want the best staff around you to help make sure that you're mechanically sound and in the best situation not to get hurt in the future. So,
and I wanted to just ask that because I didn't want people to think, oh, we're going after injury prone players. Like, if you believe that you have here with this staff the ability to help these pitchers and get great value out of it by trading a pitcher who realistically could come back next year and Jack Flaherty, it's like going ahead and take that chance, especially if Chris Fetter is here.
Yes.
I like it.
Yes, and I don't know much about Chase Hampton's injury history, but he's not, I don't know if he's injury prone, but he's major league ready. Like, he would probably be next in line for the Yankees. They're going to probably slow play him through the rest of the season, but he's that type of dude that you could probably slot into your rotation to start the season at the major league level next year. So that's a guy to go after. But, Jesus, I just want to take a quick little break right here. What do you think about how this bidding war is brewing? We've been talking a lot about the Yankees, but this is almost to set up conversations with the Orioles, conversations with the Mets, dare I say conversations with the Twins.
I think that you just have to get as many teams interested as you can. And you didn't reference the Padres, you didn't reference the Red Sox. Those are two more contending teams that very desperately need Jack Flaherty's service. I just saw a graphic on Twitter of Flaherty compared to Red Sox pitching, and he would be arguably the best pitcher in their rotation. So when you're chasing down that playoff spot in a loaded AL East, honestly, your first call should be to the Red Sox, who are the team that needs the infusion of the talent, and you'd be like, hey, Boston, do you want Jack Flaherty? Oh, you're interested? All right, let me get back to you. Call the Orioles, call the Mets, call the Yankees, and you just continuously raise the price. Because, like, for what Kimkuchi went for, did I say that right?
You did. You did.
All right.
Wait, say that one more time.
Kimkuchi.
I think it makes a kimchi and kikuchi all in one. Kikuchi. You say kikuchi.
But the fact that I saw him go for the haul that he went for, we better move Flaherty and we better get a haul back. Straight up, no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no reason that he does not have high value, way higher value than even we assume so in the beginning.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and just one, I know we got to get into this next segment and something just wanted to be able to ask really, really quickly. So, effectively, where Jack Flaherty's trade value was 3 or 4 days ago, it's probably
24 hours ago.
Just significantly higher than it was then.
Yeah. Wow. We can have the conversation about getting AAA guys, getting major league ready guys, not just, all right, let's try to pluck a top 30 prospect or two out of a system. It's, all right, let's go try to get one of their top 5 guys plus another one.
You know what?
Dare I say plus another? We're talking about the number 9 and 13 in the Astros organization.
I see why you were so excited about this last night. Now I'm. It's like my ball knowers, my baseball knowers. I'm really starting to understand it now. The Tigers have just. Okay, I get it.
This is where now it gave me a little support of Scott Harris before. Pressure's on.
Yeah.
Because this is where you're not playing with the big dogs. You're literally in the big leagues. So you're in conversations with Cashman, with Dombrowski. I mean, maybe not Dombrowski anymore, but you know what I'm talking about. Even Mike Elias with the Orioles. You're in conversation with the big dogs, with the power, with the leverage, with the bidding. Everything is in Scott Harris's favor. You can't blow it. You have to move Flaherty. So
it's like the stage is set. He has to perform.
Yeah, you want to hold out as long as possible, build it up, but you also don't want to miss your chance. And all the other teams have now found their pitcher, so you're only dealing with one. You don't have the same leverage. You got to make it before all the pitchers are off the market. But what this does, and we're talking Yankees, Mets, there is one team that turns out they're the best trade partners for the Tigers at this moment, like by a long slide. I want to tell you who that team is when we come back. But first, tell them about all the shows coming up on the network.
Thank you guys for supporting the Woo Crew. Wake up Woodward every day, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Smashing that like button. If you haven't, go ahead and do so. And not just for our show, but everybody else in the Woodward Sports Network, starting with Big D Energy from 11 to 1 p.m. You got 4-time Stanley Cup champion Dan McCarty with the golden voice, Neil Rule. After that, 2 to 4, Ermanni Networks with Mass, lovable radio legend Tom Mazaway, the University of Michigan legend and former NFL wide receiver, Braylon Edwards and Detroit Media King, Fox 2 Ryan Ermanni. Then in the day with the big fellas, Woodward Heavyweights from 5 to 7, Spin Mo Racks, Speakeasy. They got the elite booth as well. Nick Poloff and Chris Platty, they are bringing you the biggest interviews, breakdowns, and laughs. That is the Woodward Heavyweights, and we are Woodward Sports. Thank you for making Woodward Sports your #1 sports outlet. Thank you, guys.
At Planet Fitness, you can get everything you need for just $1 down.
Trying out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Hey, y'all better get on these free fitness training sessions from Planet Fitness.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home?
Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
Join Planet Fitness today and get everything you need for just $1 down. $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends Thursday, July 18th.
The Ally Challenge presented by McLaren is back August 22nd through 25th at Warwick Hills and Grand Blanc. Be there for PGA Tour Champions Golf, Family Night, concerts, and more. Tickets start at just $15. Get yours at allychallenge.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
So just to get the heated steering wheel, I also had the spring for the bigger rims.
Yeah, that's how they get you. Those upgrades will cost you an arm and a leg every time.
Hey, new car crew, how'd it go this weekend? I got a great deal on mine.
How?
I went to Randy Wise, not those other guys. They got me in a great new ride, and they didn't break my budget. Hey, could you pass me the sugar?
How?
Never mind.
He made the wise choice.
Yep.
Make the wise choice at RandyWiseBuickGMC.com.
Is that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? See what I did there? Go Red Wings! From Octopi Experts, Woodward Sports.
Are you dealing with divorce, child custody, visitation, or other family law issues? Well, Kevin and Catherine at KDK Law in Birmingham, they'll have your back. They got 10-plus years of experience and 24/7 availability. So scan the QR code on the screen or call 248-971-0476. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you. KDK Law, they'll pay your filing fee. That's right, KDK Law, they got your back.
This chat is wild.
I can't right now. I'm about to do the welcome, dog. Big oh my God, Herb Nash. Did y'all see Herb Nash's comment? He said to smash that like button like a
Kakuchi.
Welcome back to Wake Up Woodward.
I like that.
We appreciate you guys for choosing to kick off the day with the Woo Crew. Go ahead and hit that like button if you haven't already, man.
Dog, this chat is insane.
It's insane.
The Kikuchi was dry. I had to untap it.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Was that China a virus?
Yeah, man.
Oh man, listen, there are people, they're not as confident in Scott Harris as they are in the Kikuchi.
But Scott Harris, this is prime time for foreplay. Like he is.
Oh wow.
He's building up the big moment. Like that's his job right now. Also, I should be the one that knows this. Where's Jeff Greenberg?
Where is he?
The GM.
I haven't heard.
I know.
I heard he's talked in the offseason, and I haven't heard from
every
him.
night I go home like I'm gonna figure out, okay, where is he? Where is he?
He's just down there.
Yeah, but I've never seen his face.
No,
like,
at all.
Me, I see Arn Teller at the Pistons stuff at the very least.
Saw Scott Harris. What was that? Saturday.
I almost forgot we had a GO. To me, it's just all Scott Harris.
Exactly.
It's just Scott Harris' show.
He's the GM's boss, but still, it's like we're talking about like Scott Harris is on the phone, which I do believe he is. But like, isn't that the GM's job?
It's supposed to be.
Ish. This is a unique situation, and maybe there's a build-up or whatnot. I do, and made a little comment with Steve Wilds in there. I am confident. I really think Scott Harris is a strong evaluator of prospect talent, young talent around the big leagues. I'm not sold yet on his MLB level identification and roster building, and
So kind of the Troy Weaver of it. We saw that he could identify some young talent, but he could not surround them with the proper kind of support. And I'm seeing here as it relates to this trade stuff, and I want JB to, if you could, put up a poll. What do you think? How do you think Scott Harris, his performance is going to be at this trade deadline? Is it going to be success, or is he going to blow this? I saw who, and that comes from, there are people in the chat who don't believe that Scott Harris is going to get this thing done. Steve Wilds, he said Harris is a novice. He blows this 100. Chuckle Cheese, you're not getting a haul for Flaherty. Now, I got to ask you this question because there's a haul, and then there's the fact that no matter what you believe a haul is, his trade value still rolls significantly within the last 24 hours. What exactly is a haul for like a pitcher like Jack Flaherty?
Yeah, this isn't like a Tarek Skubal historic haul with either 3 top prospects or, 5-6 prospects in quantity. This is a haul considering it's a 2-month rental for a team trading for him, and you have the ability to go get one of their top prospects plus another one, plus more. So that shouldn't happen. You shouldn't be able to trade a pitcher at that, a rental pitcher at that for such a high price at the deadline. Honestly, up until the last 24 hours, we'll call it 48 hours, we're talking about going and finding single and double A players in other systems from contending teams. The Yankees don't have a deep minor league system, so they weren't great trade partners before because for them to get enough back, the Yankees single and double A players are not so great. You want this Chase Hampton or you want Spencer Jones, who I don't think is a great fit in Detroit, but you go get prospects like that. But with all of this happening, the value of Flaherty is going up around the league for all these teams that are contending. There's one team that I'll say remains the best trade target for the Tigers, and it became even clearer with this bidding war, and it's the Baltimore Orioles.
Yes, sir.
And that's because Jack Flaherty could be involved in that trade.
All roads lead to O.
It does. Without changing whatever Scott Harris is asking for, we hope he's asking something relatively reasonable, even though it should be historic. You could add Jack Flaherty to that deal without needing much more. You could add it to that deal just to get that deal done.
Yeah.
Because we want their prospects more than anything. More than this Chase Hampton from the Yankees, more than anyone with the Padres or the Mets or anyone else involved. You see what you can do, including Flaherty in a Baltimore Orioles deal with Skubal. They don't want just Flaherty alone. Flaherty was a rental for them last year and didn't do so great. But when we're talking adding Flaherty to a package with Skubal, maybe with Skubal and Shelby Miller, they have a rotation in the playoffs that's Skubal, Flaherty, Corbin Burns, Grayson Rodriguez. They would be World Series favorites with just the Skubal trade. Talk about adding Flaherty too.
Yeah.
It would be a home run deal for them. So you do that if it puts that trade over the top, but you got to use the teams against each other.
Yeah, and I absolutely agree with that trade strategy. Give them Flaherty. Hopefully we'll get an extra prospect back in return. But if they took a chance on Flaherty last year and it didn't work out, why would they want Flaherty again this year?
There's less risk for them this year because they have Corbin Burns, because they have Tarek Skubal. So they might still have a little a bad taste in their mouth from last year, but he's not the centerpiece of this trade. He's not that pitcher in a hypothetical trade like this that they're relying on to be their ace down the stretch. Or to even, actually, I think he would be the number 2, but they still have Corbin Burns too. So there's just that much less pressure on that one rental to perform. But it does make you that, like the way he's pitching, Flaherty is a different pitcher.
Yeah.
So it's an emotional decision from the Orioles not wanting to take that chance again. But Flaherty last year and this year, 2 completely different pitchers. And that's the value of Chris Feder, Robin Lund, Juan Nieves, this Tigers pitching staff. First convincing Lorenzen to come, now convincing Flaherty. And I bet you say Kikuchi. There's something in the chat about him too.
Y'all check y'all text messages, didn't y'all? I'm sorry.
Kool-Aid over here wilding, man.
Broder was cooking, so I was really trying to hold in my laughs the whole time too.
Who is that? John? Jerry Miller? Jerry. That was funny.
Jerry.
It is like a stutter.
I got to ask you this.
Ask about it.
We do have the poll up. Will Scott Harris make this trade deadline worth it, successful or failure? 57% say success right now. Now, the people in the chat who are actually commenting, they don't seem to be as positive about where this thing is going to head with Scott Harris. But out of the things that you've already seen, so how this trade deadline is shaping up, I tend to believe, and I'll let you answer your own words, that you believe he set this thing up. Like, it's looking like at least he can have success.
Oh, yeah. Everything's in front of him. Now it's up to him to close the deal. Yeah. Like, get your big boy pants on and sell. Sell. You have all the leverage possible, but you do have an opportunity to fall on your face if you don't make anything happen. But what he does have at his disposal, too, I just, pivoted to the Orioles. Let's go back to the Yankees for a second. Mark Canha still hasn't been traded. So if they want an outfielder, if they want a professional right-handed bat who can play the outfield, who can play a little bit of first base when Rizzo's not playing because there's a lefty on the mound, Canha can now go play first base. That might be a piece that you include in a Flaherty deal to put that over the top, to convince, all right, you're not willing to give up Chase Hampton and this guy. Like, all right, what about Canha? They're still looking for a bat. Flaherty's actually a perfect fit there. So there are so many different things going on right now. Scott Harris has it all at his disposal. And Matthew Kruger had a good question earlier. He says, if the Tigers continue to tear down and trade our best players every year, how much longer can Hinch stand by before he skips town? Well,
that's a good question.
It is a good question. And you've thrown some random shit out there, Kruger. This is a pretty good one.
Because Hinch has been a lot more vocal this year than I remember him being in previous years.
He also signed an extension this offseason, so he knows what he's in for. Yeah. He's prepared for this. This is not a surprise to him. Even though he says he wants to buy at a deadline, you won't find one single manager who says he wants to sell at a deadline, because he's got to manage this team of Toledo Mud Hens for the next 2 months.
Yeah.
And that's not fun as a manager. So I'm not worried about him. I think he's the perfect man for the job. I don't agree with every decision he's made this year. I think A.J. Hinch is a phenomenal manager and is perfect for this team and how they're being built with Scott Harris. I don't see this as a teardown. Or I don't the semantics of how it's worded, I don't agree with that, Kruger, because this is part of the plan. This is part of the buildup. We're talking 1-year contract.
Exactly.
1-year contracts yes, trading your best player, Tarek Skubal, but the only way you make that trade is if it's actually a buy. If it's actually a trade that moves you forward, a.k.a. the Orioles. That's it.
Yeah, well,
it's Jackson Holiday or nothing.
Well, you got players next season because of the Skubal trade playing in the everyday rotation.
With them, you have players tomorrow.
Yeah.
Jackson Holiday and Kobe Mayo are your starting left side of the infield tomorrow. And definitely in 2025, maybe Basillo in 2025, or depending on who the other piece is. You got to get Jackson Holiday and Mayo, but you got to get Jackson Holiday. That's the reason you do this at the trade deadline. That's the only reason.
Man,
Jackson Holiday doesn't come available very often, ever. Actually, ever. Number 1 prospect in baseball, future superstar. Everyone says that. When do you have a situation like this where there's an MVP blocking him at the a young MVP blocking him at the major league level? The need for a starting pitcher for the next few. It all matches up. That move actually speeds up it's not a teardown. That speeds it up.
That's almost like a pseudo buy.
Yes. What they can now do with Jack Flaherty, this is turning into a way where you can sell Flaherty and it's a buy too. If you can get Chase Hampton and put him in your rotation next year, or you go get, I'm pulling a name out of my hat, Carlos LaGrange. He's like their number 16 prospect. He's 6'7", 200 pounds, throws 101. You go and get back end of the bullpen help, or a future enforcer like that. You have ways to sell your 1-year players, but it's really a buy for this. Or you're getting better as an organization. You're not getting better this year. Unfortunately, you're getting worse. But long term, next year, you're getting better, and that's what you can do. It's Jackson Holiday or no trade for Skubal. I'm fine watching him for 2 months, watching him pitch. When you get to the winter, you can revisit trade talks with the same, a little less value, a little less leverage, but you get all of the MLB involved. And we're talking trading major league players.
Yeah.
So you don't need just a contender to be a trade partner in the offseason. You can get the Marlins or like a random team you would never think of. Go and get major league level bats, arms, whatever you want in the offseason for Skubal. At the trade deadline, you're only getting prospects, so why not hold out for the number 1 prospect in baseball who can also transform you, because your starting catcher Starting shortstop. We all know that story.
Yeah, and you know, I'm looking at the chat here. I'm looking at the poll. This thing is extremely polarizing. And I want to, one of these comments here, Steve Wilds, what has Harris and AJ done? This is the Weaver argument all over again.
Perfect.
Well, that's to be seen. That's to be seen.
Have that conversation.
Well, let's have it. I know we got to get into the next segment. And then on the other end of the polar, I got to trust in Broder. That's Dennis Tytek.
Oh, my God. So, my God. Let's have that conversation. We'll split next segment because we got to get into some Lions.
Yeah.
But this is also big news, too. So let's talk about some of the things he's done because it feeds into both sides of this. We'll see where some people are coming. I also want to maybe instill some hope into some people with some moves that aren't being thought about or recognized.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
So we're going to answer that question.
Yes.
Get into the Detroit Lions training camp. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I can tell you about something else that's awesome. It's when a guy can be a guy and get an amazing haircut. That's Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. All you got to do is stop in, sit back, and relax. Let one of Lady Jane's talented hairstylists make you look and feel great. Walk in it anytime, 7 days a week. Lady Jane's, it is wicked awesome.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
The Ally Challenge presented by McLaren is back August 22nd through 25th at Warwick Hills and Grand Blanc. Be there for PGA Tour Champions Golf, Family Night, concerts, and more. Tickets start at just $15. Get yours at allychallenge.com today.
At Planet Fitness, you can get everything you need for just $1 down.
Try out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Hey, y'all better get on these free fitness training sessions from Planet Fitness.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home?
Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
Join Planet Fitness today and get everything you need for just $1 down. $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends Thursday, July 18th.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts. Our professional technicians take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. 24/7 professional monitoring, so you can call us anytime, day or night, and know that a Guardian team member will stay on the phone with you as long as needed, because it is technology that is backed by people, and your safety and security, it deserves technology that's been proven to work and people who've been proven to care. All you got to do is call this number right here, 1-800-STAY-OUT. Once again, that number is 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Oh, my God.
You a little too excited
too
with that one.
You know what?
Too spicy with that one.
Jesus,
That's
man.
that, like,
Foreplay, baby.
button, bro. I think Broder was talking to Kikuchi on that.
Right.
Well,
You want Lizzie Kikuchi.
Hey, Lizzie Canton. She lives rent-free on this show.
My name is Lizzie. I'm from Canton.
Hey, look at Broder. He just glows every single time. Every single time. Welcome back to Wake Up Woodward. We got to reset this question that we had right before we went to break. I think it's a good question. And this is where I believe a lot of people, like I said, have been snake bitten. The Troy Weaver effect and what went on with that. Steve Wilds, what has Harris and AJ done? This is the Troy Weaver argument all over again. And you got some people in here who are like, you know what? They'll probably trust if you can set it up the right way because you're there. You're at the ground level. You're in the room. You're interviewing people. You're hearing AJ Hinch right there. You're there. So I'm going to trust your opinion because I appreciate the work that you do. I'm hoping the rest of the chat does as well.
No, it's a polarizing argument, a polarizing topic because I don't know. It's hard to compare the two, and I sort of see it, but baseball is roster construction, organization, like building, being the president of baseball operations. It's a different job than Trajan Langdon. It's a different job than being a GM of an NBA team where draft picks can have immediate returns. You're almost expected to have immediate return. So obviously you're drafting the NBA for potential. Also, we saw what he did with Oklahoma City Thunder. He left before it really came to fruition. And then with the Pistons, we saw the same similar strategy coming. I don't know if it was going to work out, is working out. He's not going to be able to see the fruits of his labor come to fruition. But in baseball, what Scott Harris is doing with so little, with no real, trade value, no true hope for a contender in the short term. When he came on board, was it about 2 years ago? A little under 2 years.
Yeah.
So he's tasked with completely revamping the minor leagues. And we're not just talking players. We're talking the entire developmental system. And that's been the problem with the Tigers historically. They draft players or they acquire prospects. They can't develop them through the system. And that's what we're seeing at AAA right now. AAA players right now, those are products of the previous regime. Both the GM, also the former development staff throughout the entire minor leagues. We're not seeing them get to the major league level often ready. I do believe, although we don't have proof of it yet happening with Scott Harris's guys, what he's done identifying prospects in Max Clark, in Kevin McGonigal, in how you lead, in the Michael Lorenzen trade last year. That's the trade that we were looking at for Jack Flaherty this year, going and trying to find a diamond in the rough in Double-A. Actually, he might have even been in High A last year when they traded him with the Phillies, or maybe he was Double-A. He's a stud. Justin Henry Malloy, I really like.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be part of the future. I think he's going to be part of the core. That was in a trade for a relief pitcher at the deadline with the Braves. Was it the Braves? Yeah, with the Braves. And then, and I'm sure there's more, but the recognition of Colt Keith and giving him that contract early, so many people thought he was crazy at the beginning of the season. Man, why did we just give this guy $27 million for 9 years before he stepped foot on a major league field? He saw something. He saw what he wanted to see in a prospect, times 10, and he committed to it, which I believe it's going to be the greatest, most team-friendly contract in MLB history. At least that's the way it's turning into. So I really like what he's done evaluating prospects to bring into this system. The question mark is his roster creation, roster management at the major league level. I like Mark Canha. To be determined if that truly was the best, off-season signing, or if they just needed to go out and get a Chapman or JD Martinez, a Bellinger. They needed to add more than I thought they did.
Yeah.
That's one. KG, we're going to eat that one. I was content going into the season.
Yeah.
They should have added at least a bat.
Once again, I always go back to you didn't expect your young players to regress in the ways that they did.
Yep.
Spencer Torkelson being back in AAA is a huge blow. Parker Meadows being sent down and then getting called up to get injured was a huge blow. There are caveats to this season, man. So I get what people are talking about. And yes, Scott Harris has to show us. He's going on 2 years in September, and he hasn't done a whole lot. Albeit he's made some moves here and there, but it hasn't been a whole lot. But people got to realize, at least with the Tarek Skubal deal, you can trade your ace and survive. Aces have been traded in this league before, but if you have the right people in place, you can survive that. And even if they decided to up and go for the playoff and all that, I don't think they could do it because you're so deficient in your infield and part of your outfield. You're not going to win anything.
And currently, with Skubal and Flaherty on the roster, you still have 2 bullpen days per 5 days. You still don't have a rotation. You need swing and miss arms in the bullpen. This team has been awesome to watch. And to go on this hot streak in these last 2 months. But it just shows you how far away they are. It's a little bit of fool's gold being 5.5 games out. Because, that's not that far. You're 3-4 games below 5. That's not that far. But when you really look at it, they have so many holes to fill.
Yeah, they don't have the horses to make up that gap. They do not.
They don't.
Yeah.
And shout out
plain and simple.
Forget the Carson Kelly, the trade that just happened. It's not something that's going to wow you with the prospect to return, but the fact you got anything out of him. We're talking about a guy who was on his way out of the league after the Diamondbacks designated him for assignment. We signed him. He turned out to play well for a couple months, and you flipped him for a Double-A, probably a Triple-A backup catcher.
Yep.
Not really much Liam Hicks, not really much to write home about, but a high-ceiling reliever. What's his name? His name is Tyler Owen.
Yep.
We're talking like 97, 98 miles per hour, a future back end of the bullpen guy, they hope. So the fact you got anything out of Carson Kelly is a bonus. Just had a thought, but it slipped my mind. Any last questions? I know we're at 9:10 here. We got to start talking Lions, but
8 hours away from the deadline.
Concerns, like questions, concerns. I feel like I'm missing something, and maybe it'll come to me.
Well, my only concern is that you play this bidding war too long, and then you don't get the rightful return, or you don't get any return at all. Which I don't think. I think they're smart enough to know they have to do something at this deadline. You can't just stand pat. You can't hold on to your 1-year contracts. You have to do something. It's just all about the return at this point.
Yeah, the worst thing that they could do is do nothing. You have to move.
That's an indictment on this regime if they do that.
Yeah, you have to move all your 1-year contracts. You don't have to move school. That's the one. Yep. Hey, you don't get what you want. You don't get the historic return. No biggie. Hang up the phone. He's ours.
But you should at least be making sure that you're hearing all of the offers so you can do right by this organization and by the fans, whether it is keeping Skubal or trading. I mean, we saw this thing swing from reports of the Tigers were probably not going to trade Skubal, and they were looking at signing Flaherty long term, which would have been effectively not doing anything, to all of a sudden you're hearing that both of these pitchers are being not necessarily shopped, but that that for Skubal, they're at least listening to offers. And with Flaherty, they'll probably have him on the block a little bit. So 7-8 hours to go until this trade deadline. I know you're going to keep us definitely updated. Stay tapped in with Woodward Sports Socials, as well as at MattBro21, our credentialed Tigers reporter and writer for the network. It could be a big day for this organization.
It could be a big day. It's a big day for the Lions, too, because this is their second day with Pat.
Sir.
Like they're back in it. Let's talk Lions. It was fun talking Tigers. It's a big couple hours coming up. 6 p.m. Eastern is the deadline. I'm curious to see what this team looks like at 6:01, but the Lions are down there. Yesterday,
Detroit Lions, man.
Yesterday, they had their first training camp with pads.
Yes, sir.
And that's where you can really start. Maybe not evaluating, but you can start reading. We get to see the linemen hit each other. We get to see the DBs get physical with the wide receivers. Before you put the pads on, it's an offensive-heavy training camp practice.
Some of the flare-ups, it's like, you know what? I want to see the guys go out there and give it their best. You never want to see a fight. But it's like when you hear the reports that, there was a little bit of a dust-up at practice, at training camp.
I love it.
It's like, I love it because you know that they're hungry. What is it going to be when they actually, game one, put them pads on, and it's Boodum kids walking through the door? That's what I'm talking about. So it's get them riled up. And you know that Dan Campbell has his pulse on this thing. You know that he's not going to let anything go overboard. So it's like you, KG, I love it, man.
Yeah.
This team is gritty. They're grinding. They're not slowing down for nobody. I love it, bro.
Yeah, and people have to get cut from this team, believe it or not.
No.
I know it's crazy. It's crazy. But for one time in Lions history, they're going to have to cut people, and they're going to be good players. And they're going to be players that other teams go out and get once they're cut. So you got people fighting for jobs in here, man. It's not just, we're just coming to training camp to give our best. These people are fighting for jobs to be on what we believe to be a Super Bowl contending roster. So I just look forward to what they can put forth in training camp. And let's get ready for this thing, man. Like, we almost here. I'm ready.
Yes. We're going to take a break. And maybe if you could put up that poll of the first training camp topic that you guys want to talk about. I want to start.
I was tripping.
What?
Okay, nothing. The text, it reads differently. I was like, let's party then.
My bad. Wait, what? Did you guys talk about Taylor Decker yesterday?
We
did break on your show?
Yeah, but let's tee it up, man.
Just leading into the next segment. What a way to start training camp, like with all the fans there.
Yeah.
A guy like Taylor Decker getting that 3-year extension.
Yeah.
Just
well deserved.
Aside from what it could mean to the rest of the team and what money is going to be freed up to go after some other homegrown talent that was drafted, the fact that Taylor Decker got rewarded for his time here, not just rewarded, he's been a phenomenal tackle for this team. Maybe not a top 3 in the league, but consistently in that top 10, I'd say, on the left side, locking him up for 3 more years. Building this, do you know this offense now? The entire offense is under contract through the next 2 years, minus Kevin Zeitler, Donovan Peoples-Jones, and Shane Zylstra. So we're talking
masterful.
We're talking Gibbs, Monty, Vaki,
Amon-Ra,
Goff, obviously,
Laporta.
Amon-Ra, Jamison Williams, Sam Laporta, Brock Wright, James Mitchell, Khalif Raymond, Antoine Green, Penei Sewell, Taylor Decker, Frank Ragnow, and Graham Glasgow.
Talk about chemistry. Talk about a Super Bowl window.
That is a top 3 offense, maybe number 1 in the league, a top 1 offensive line, and you have them all for the next 2 years.
And they found a way to add to that, as well as we all know that these players are going to take a step forward. And you know what? I really want to talk Jamison Williams, but we got to let the chat decide on that. But, man, you talk about throwing the pads on and seeing this guy still looks just as fast. Oh, man.
Vote Rakestraw, please.
We'll wait.
I just said vote Rakestraw. That's what I want to talk about.
Politicking season.
Yeah. I mean,
let's go to break so we can do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Tell them about Swiss Insurance. Because they got a lot of insurance in that secondary.
They do.
So many
mind.
DBs.
There you go. You know what? Swiss Insurance. Listen, this Detroit Lions DB room, they can keep you away from the diddler just like Mark at Swiss Insurance as well. Now more than ever, it is critical for you to have your insurance reviewed. Swiss Insurance will make sure your current carrier is not slipping in any extra fees.
Bad boy.
Or raising deductibles. All you got to do, call Mark at Swiss Insurance today, 313-530-1698. Again, word to my brother Flannel. That number, 313-530-1698. Visit them online, SwissINS.com, and let them know that Woodward Sports sent you.
So just to get the heated steering wheel, I also had the spring for the bigger rims.
Yeah, that's how they get you. Those upgrades will cost you an arm and a leg every time.
Hey, new car crew, how'd it go this weekend? I got a great deal on mine.
How?
I went to Randy Wise, not those other guys. They got me in a great new ride, and they didn't break my budget. Hey, could you pass me the sugar?
How?
Never mind.
He made the wise choice.
Yep.
Make the wise choice at RandyWiseBuickGMC.com.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
The Great American Chevy Week is back and bigger than ever at Feldman Chevrolet. Choose from the largest inventory of award-winning Chevys, all priced to move for the biggest week of the year. Get this 2024 Silverado for only $213 a month, or this 2024 Equinox for as low as $249 a month. Feldman takes the Great American Chevy Week to another level. Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Did somebody say merge?
Merge?
You know, I don't know what that was, but
no more Detroit signs.
We finally got rid of that Detroit sign. Thank you, Kool-Aid, so much. But do yourself a favor. Head over to WoodwardSports.com. Click on that shop tab. We are dropping new designs every single week. You know we got the Stoke Not Scared. Hopefully you're rocking that down at Allen Park today, watching the Lions practice as well, too. And we also got the Boot 'em Kids t-shirts that are out right now that finally Kool-Aid has replaced with the Detroit sign, and also Devin's nice gear as well, too. And you can't forget about the Tigers as well, too, even though they might be selling, they might be buying. I don't know, a couple hours until this trade deadline is over. Help us out, Detroit Tigers. Help us out. And help yourself by going over to WoodwardSports.com, clicking on that shop tab.
Help me, Tigers. Hard on. No. Welcome back to Wake Up Woodward. We appreciate you guys for choosing to kick off the day with the Woo crew. Go ahead and smash that like button. We are talking Detroit Lions training camp. We let the chat family decide which direction of quarter we're going to go on. We had Jamison Williams, Enos Rakestraw, and the hooker, Roderick Martin, as well as the positions that they play, and the chat family that can't do it with Enos Rakestraw plus the DBs. That's secondary. Let's go. I'm down with it. I've heard some good things. Obviously, Jamison Williams is someone we've talked about the last couple shows, but because of all of the hype and the noise, and then when the pads went on, what did we hear coming out of training camp? The Enos Rakestraw looks like a dog with those pads on. Let's break this thing down, and I know that dude Justin also is ecstatic to talk about this.
Yeah, from what I've been seeing, reading, talking to some of the other beat writers and reporters, Enos Rakestraw, I don't say he looks like an all-pro, but they loved watching him out in the field yesterday, how physical he got once he put pads on. Huron Mark M had a really great point in the chat saying he's a penalty waiting to happen, and he's very handsy, he's very physical, and that's part of what we knew about him coming out of the draft.
Yeah.
Personally, I would rather start with that mentality and coach him down from that versus having to bring out that physicality. But nonetheless, that's, Justin, to me, the biggest difference in this DB room, cornerbacks and safeties, how physical they all are. Like how, whether it's Rakestraw, Amik Robertson, Brian Branch, Emmanuel Mosley at nickel, or Terrion Arnold, Carlton Davis on the outside, and the safeties too. They're physical. You don't necessarily need to stick on this comment, but I'll say it seems like this defense and the secondary in particular is built to stop quarterbacks like Jordan Love, like Caleb Williams, like those mobile/semi-mobile cornerbacks. We got dudes now, cornerbacks, DBs on the outside that are willing to come up and make a hit. The last thing I'll say, then I'm going to stop talking. JB let me know in between break, there's a picture floating around of Brian Branch. Fully padded.
Let me see this. Get me fired up.
Guess who's back?
And so this
back again.
I'm fired up. Let's go, man.
I was just about to say, we're going to see a picture of him. Does this mean he's out there practicing? He looks like he is practicing.
So this is per Justin Rogers, who is at the camp right now, or at training right now. Also, a couple little bang-up injuries from Frank Ragnow and Glasgow, but they are okay. I mean, this is, just a little light practice that they're doing right now. So a little injuries there, going through, but they are up and ready to go. Just got to keep monitoring them. But as you can see right here, Branch is in full gear, ready to go.
This man is why I included DBs and the position groups after the player, because I want to talk Enos Rakestraw. But even when Brian Branch, before he was practicing, just going through walkthroughs, everything the coaches and he has been saying, he's moving to safety. Screw this nickel position. He's going to go be a safety, and he's going to be all over the field. So whether Rakestraw, Branch, any DB, Justin.
Scary season.
What's goody?
Secondary.
Hey, what's goody is Rakestraw.
Scary season, brother.
He is honestly becoming one of my favorite players on this team. Like, I mean, I know it's training camp, and you can't take a lot out of these clips, but the fact of he is that physical corner. You talk about the last couple years, struggling against receivers like the DK Metcalfs of the world, the AJ Browns, and not having the physicality to match them on presses. Bringing in guys like Rakestraw and Arnold hopefully will combat guys like that who are those big physical receivers who we have genuinely completely struggled to guard. I just have this image of DK Metcalf and AJ Brown just pushing over Jerry Jacobs and getting gain after gain after gain. That's not the reality we live in anymore with this secondary. This secondary is physical, they can tackle, and we just got a bunch of dogs. And it's honestly so refreshing because over the last couple of years, we've had a liability in our secondary every single year that you can just go after.
You said how long?
The last couple, at least 3 years. You got Cam Sutton last year.
Bro.
You got Jerry Jacobs the year before. And you have Jeff Okudah the year before. Like, we have been tortured at the cornerback position over the last couple of years. And we finally have a plethora of talent there. And I'm just so excited to see how all these DBs come together. And also Branch moving to more of a hybrid box safety, which I think is the perfect role for him. I think he is a better version of Jamal Adams with better ball skills.
They found a way to have this defense take a step forward, in my opinion. Even before you factor in what they did in free agency, and then you factor in free agency with Carlton Davis and Amik Robertson, who are getting rave reviews across the league from other players and people in media who formerly played as well. This Detroit Lions secondary, man.
It's the perfect balance of the rookies and the one-year contract. The Carlton Davis, the Amik Robertson, I think Amik might be on a 2-year contract if I'm not mistaken, but you've got these vets that pair well with the young guys, both from a roster construction, tiering contracts and ages and rookies and vets to build for the future. But even Aqib Talib said yesterday, it was 2 days ago on the Up and Adams show, talked about how important Carlton Davis is for Terrion Arnold. And I'm going to put all the young guys in that mix, but specifically Terrion, having that vet to learn from. I can't remember. I don't think Okudah had that. Definitely haven't really had that as a true cornerback in the last couple of years. But JB, how you feeling about that DB room or another position group you prefer to talk about?
No, just to add on to what you guys are saying right now. I've heard a lot of good things about Enos Rakestraw coming out of camp already. Just the simple fact that everyone has said when he puts on pads, this man is a different type of player. This is a different type of animal you're competing with out there. So I'm excited to even get a chance to even see him. Hopefully I will once I, go down there one of these days and check it out. But also I seen a photo of David Montgomery as well too. My man's put on some muscle. Oh. I don't know if you've seen this.
Ooh, show me.
I wish I had it on my phone to send it to you guys, but I just seen a picture of it real quick. But yeah, he's put on some muscle as well too. But also some photos that I want to show you from yesterday. These two showed up at camp as well.
Ooh, give me the vibes. Give me the vibes. Drapes and Eiserman. Let's rock.
That's unreal. We've got everyone showing up to camp to show love and support. They are fully behind this team and they see great things about to happen. So I'm excited.
It's pictures like that. Like I genuinely have goosebumps right now seeing a picture of four men standing next to each other.
Oh yeah.
Like there's right?
I co-signed that without a second thought because of who it was. What are we talking about? It's Brad, it's Dan, it's Drapes, it's Eiserman. Yeah. Sign me up for that foursome.
I know there are still question marks with some other, but we're in a good place Justin. With our Detroit leadership. What? What's that face?
Just happy, just a couple legends right there. Gonna lead Detroit to the promised land.
But
let's go.
DB room. So and Cortez Whitlow brings up a great point. Talking about Iffy or the lack of talking about Iffy. I don't know if, at least I'll speak from my own perspective. I think it's pretty fair across the board here. We're not talking about him because he's garbage or we don't think he's going to be in a very important piece to this. I just think so far in a couple days of training camp, we've just heard some other names stand out. Whether it's Enos Rakestraw or Terrion Arnold or Kirby Joseph squirting water over the fights, over the little scuffles to, cool off the team. Like, if he just hasn't, I don't know, maybe stood out, but that's not an indictment on him or is he going to have a big year? The fact that Iffy is on this team and is able to compete for a starting job with Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch, where one of those three is now going to be I don't think it's going to be Brian Branch, but one of those three is going to be rotational, your backup. That is a phenomenal thing. If it was Iffy, and maybe Iffy beats out Kirby Joseph, if it was Iffy, imagine having that man come off the bench. Like, we're not talking who was the safety from years past that, Tracy Walker went down, who would have come in. Like, there was true depth where we're now going to second units, even in that cornerback, second units that are better than the Lions starting unit last year.
Are we talking about depth?
We're talking about depth.
So you're worried about depth?
There we go.
So I just think if he's going to play a huge role, I think this defense is built perfectly for a ball hawk like Kirby. I also think Brian Branch is going to have a monster year. How they rotate, how they share the snaps, to be determined. That's up to Aaron Glenn. But I do think all three, including Iffy, are going to be a huge part of this. Huge.
Yep.
Yeah. Just wanted to confirm real quick by Justin Rogers. Frank Ragnow, lower leg injury. He's a little banged up. And I'm also seeing that Frank Kaminsky got hurt as well. Maybe was carted off. So also want to wish those two the best and hope that those aren't serious injuries.
Who's carted off?
Ragnow.
Kaminsky. John Kaminsky. Yeah.
Never like to see the card off.
Yeah.
Channel your. Remember when we saw C.J. Gardner-Johnson the beginning of last year? He went down early with a knee injury, and we're all.
Yeah.
There we go. Let's channel good thoughts.
Channel all the
good prayers for Kaminsky.
Definitely.
And this might also lead to acquisition in the line, possibly.
True. Let's talk about that. Real quick shout out Justin Rogers, now of the Detroit Football Network, which is DetroitFootball.net. Go subscribe to Justin. He is one of the best. He's probably one of the best beat writers in the NFL. He's in that mix, some of those top guys. He started his own network. Go give him a subscribe.
Yep.
But also follow me on Twitter.
Matt Bro, at Matt Bro 21.
But Justin Rogers has been doing it for years. He's very trusted, both by his work and his writing, but also by the Lions. So you can trust him.
Yeah.
And the players trust him, too, to give him honest truth and story. So go give him a follow. Should we take a quick break and come back and revisit this?
Yeah.
Sure.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I think it's to me. I'm going to tell you about Mark White.
Yes, Mark White.
Mark White, are you dreaming of a new home but feeling the financial pinch? I get it if you are. Mark White and Associates, your trusted real estate experts, they're here to help. Mark White and their team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right, $5,000. So call Mark White and Associates today at 248-290 248-8242 or visit them at markwhitesells.com. Again, call Mark White today at 248-290-8242 to make your dreams come true.
The Ally Challenge presented by McLaren is back August 22nd through 25th at Warwick Hills and Grand Blanc. Be there for PGA Tour Champions Golf, Family Night, concerts, and more. Tickets start at just $15. Get yours at allychallenge.com today.
At Planet Fitness, you can get everything you need for just $1 down.
Try out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Hey, y'all better get on these free fitness training sessions from Planet Fitness.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home?
Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
Join Planet Fitness today and get everything you need for just $1 down. $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends Thursday, July 18th.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
To any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week, walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Soroki's Crispy Chicken and Pizza. It's taken over Michigan. They're known for their quality, hand-battered and hand-breaded chicken tenders, sandwiches, and New York-style pizza. Locations are popping up all over Metro Detroit. They're doubling their number of restaurants this year, and they just had their grand opening of a new location in Madison Heights. So be sure to stop in and try it at a mega station near you, or go to www.sorokis.com. Also, if you're young, training to play football, you're a boy, you're a girl, go check out the best youth football league in Metro Detroit. It's the Boys and Girls Clubs of Southeastern Michigan's 3C Sports League. It offers youth ages 5 to 14 with 6 exciting teams to choose from in Detroit, in Belleville, Highland Park, and East Point. All their coaches are trained, certified, and undergo background checks. So register for football or cheer at bgcsm.org. They got equipment, meals, transportation. It's all included with the chance to play the championship game at Ford Field for just $175 per child. So put the youth back in youth sports with the BGC SM 3C Sports.
Let's rock.
Just look at this photo. Just look at this.
Woo! Justin.
Is that the definition of Riz right there?
I don't know. Like Draper's got some real aura right now next to Dan Campbell. But you look to Brad Holmes and Stevie Y. I wonder how much Brad Holmes is kneeling down, but man.
Is that Chris Draper or Cody Rhodes? Did that for you, JB.
Low key, Chris Draper deserves a shit ton of respect in the building of this Red Wings team.
Yeah.
I think that it gets overlooked that it's all Stevie Y. It's not all Stevie.
There you go.
It's not all Stevie Y. I'm surprised that was down though. KG's taller than me, so.
Oh man, I appreciate you finding a way to make sure we get that Red Wings love going.
Yes,
I love
sir.
it, man. I love it.
Hell yeah.
That's a dope picture, too. That's such a dope
Yeah, that picture is crazy.
Yeah.
I love that picture.
We're not going to revert back to the Tigers, but there are some similarities, or at least some comparisons to take from how Scott Harris is building to how Steve Yzerman's approach at building and building up their system first. But we're on the Lions topic. I forget if we were talking to play.
We were talking really the secondary, and it was just kind of to back up what that dude Justin was talking about as it relates to at least the last 2 or 3 years, the secondary being something that wasn't as reliable, didn't have the depth. It was an extreme weakness. It was a blight, and I kept saying decades. You guys go back to the years when we had the luxury of a Calvin Johnson at wide receiver, but when you look at the counterparts on the defense. As soon as our starters got injured, do you know in the playoffs when we played the Saints, you remember who was in our secondary? Our backup wide receivers. By the time we got to the playoffs, we had backup wide receivers. And you know what? The Saints didn't punt one time, bro. And it was embarrassing. Backup wide receivers. Okay, so then we get into the Brad Holmes era, right? Where they're talking about the fact that he is the secondary whisperer. He has an eye for this thing. And we finally get actual If our starters get injured, we actually got backup secondary players. Now we got dogs as the backups. Now we're sitting here trying to figure out how do we fit all these players in here. That's where we're at right now with the secondary, and Brad Holmes did that in 3 years. But if we want to go back, not that we haven't had good secondary players over the years, but we can go back decades on decades on decades and say the secondary has been a point of weakness for Detroit Lions teams, especially cramping what they were able to do and bringing their ceiling down in those few playoffs they did make. Our secondaries got torched. And it wasn't like they were this kind of bend it but don't break. No, the Saints housed us, man. And we already understand what happened in Jerry's World in the playoffs. But if that secondary was a little bit better, maybe we're able to put up a better fight in that fourth quarter where the Lions still had a chance after that Pettigrew kind of missed penalty, the pass interference.
Yeah.
And so it's like looking at where they are right now, yeah, I'm going to be tempered to a degree because we want to see these players do it on the field. But what he's built, the prospects of it, and the expectations, I'm definitely more excited than if someone gets injured and you got a backup wide receiver having to fill in the safety. It's like, what are we doing?
That's a problem. Steve Wildes, who I ride with a lot of his opinions. He says this is a top 10, maybe top 5 defense. And I think I lost the comment, but I think a few comments after that. He says this team the defensive line is already a top 5 unit, especially with the addition of DJ Reader. And all of that, on paper, that secondary is so much improved. For every reason you just said, it's 10 times more improved because of that defensive line too, which, let's not forget, probably was the strength of the defense last year. That wasn't a problem. Sure, we wanted more sacks on quarterbacks, but they were one of the top run defending teams in the league. They just got Terrell Williams. What the defensive line and the offensive line for the Detroit Lions is saying about Terrell Williams, that might be the biggest offseason acquisition, Terrell Williams. Like, do you guys think, do any of you guys, I'm going to throw this comp at you. Is Terrell Williams the Hank Fraley of the defensive line? And if so, like, what does that mean to you? How excited are you? Does that give you optimism?
It definitely does, especially with how we see both of those guys. The type of rarefied air that kind of both of them are held in within this Detroit Lions organization, especially Terrell Williams, around the league. I'm ecstatic about where these guys can be. I mean, you talk about if an Aaron Glenn or a Ben Johnson ever, take that head coaching job, to know that you got guys like Terrell Williams and Hank Fraley in your system. That should make us, when we talk about that longevity of success, it's not just what they're putting out there on the field. It's not just how they're keeping the front office stock, but it's also how they're making sure to bring in the necessary coaches and positional coaches to keep this thing moving forward. And it matters because you hear the players saying how much it matters. I don't think that they're just out there bumping their gums. And anybody who's played, not just in any type of organized sport, but any type of organized activity, whether it be at your work, whether it be at school, whether it be sports, whether it just be rec league, you guys understand the importance of having those types of voices and those types of people around to help you in your journey. I wouldn't be where I'm at without those types of people in my life right now. That's why I'm so grateful, especially for the squad. So it's like when you look at a Hank Fraley and Terrell Williams, yeah, definitely. Salute to those guys.
That Taylor Decker contract, to me, it points at 2 players before future contract extensions. That's Lee McNeil and Aiden Hutchinson. There's money that is now available from that. We'll see how it's truly structured.
Yeah.
But this is a Lions team. Draft and develop, pay your own guys. That money that's freed up, I don't think it's for a Matthew Judon, although maybe that's a conversation we have tomorrow because you guys see that video?
He looks frustrated.
Walking out of Patriots camp.
Yeah.
We got to talk about that.
I think he mouthed something like, "Give me to Detroit," something like that. I mean, who knows?
Jay Jetta?
I mean, I heard it. I don't know about
you heard that, Jay?
I heard it too,
Bring him home.
Like Jay Jetta. Also something I think we need to talk about tomorrow. Hendon Hooker / Nate Sudfeld.
We have to, because we all thought this was just Hendon Hooker is the backup quarterback.
Yeah.
He's going to be the guy that you don't want to, knock on wood, if golf or not, he can try and help us tread water. It feels like there's a lot more questions that have arisen since training camp started.
Including a pinky injury.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's broken or I don't think it's anything long-term to be worried about, but he needs as much time as possible. So you worry about any time missed. Reports are Nate Sudfeld looks phenomenal down there. Actually better than he did last year. Take that one with a grain of salt. I like Nate Sudfeld. I don't think his role is as a number 2. Even if he's gotten better, his role is to support Jared Goff throughout the week, get him ready for the game. But is he good enough to not have to go? If Hendon Hooker isn't the number 2, is Sudfeld good enough or Plain good enough to not go out and pursue another backup quarterback? There's a conversation to be had. We'll let another practice get by under their belts because we got to get to what's trending with JB Smooth. But more and more storylines are coming out of training camp. I actually been these last 2 days and kind of focus on the MLB deadline. What is it?
Easy just tweeted out. Shout out to Easy. Iffy and J-Mo just had a little scuffle.
I love that. I love that.
Let's go.
And I don't know any other details about it. The fact that you didn't say there were punches thrown or anyone got hurt. I love that. J-Mo, which we didn't even get to today, we'll talk about him tomorrow for sure. He's been making waves. He's been jawing. He's been competitive. He's been confident.
That confidence.
And that's what these scuffles are. You're around with your brothers in training camp. You're in the locker room all day, every day. It's going to happen. If those scuffles didn't happen, I'd be concerned. The fact that it's 2 young players like that coming into their own. We talked about Iffy a little bit before. We know J-Mo. We see a star in the making. See those 2 go at it. A safety and a receiver. I love it. Love it.
I absolutely love it.
Love it.
Can't wait to talk more J-Mo. Shout out to Carlton Davis. He said this at the press conferences at training camp. We can be the best defense in the league. If you can, JB, as we get into what's trending, hey, let's throw up a poll. I want to see what people think about this defense next season, where they think this defense can rank. You know what I mean? Top 5, top 10, top 15.
We heard about 2 players going down. We don't know the severity, but if any of you out there, chat, viewers, get injured, maybe some back issues, Dr. Pierce is who you want to go see.
Hey, listen, you know what? This is why you got to stay tapped in with Woodward Sports. Dr. Pierce does a really good job at breaking down these types of injuries and telling us what to expect, especially with the Detroit Lions who have such high expectations this season. So attention, sports fans. Don't miss out on extra sports injury insights from Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday on Big D Energy and every Thursday on Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, where he's offering you top-notch injury advice. Trust the guy that DMAC trusts. Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsandSpine.com or call 248-426-9944.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola? Really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody!
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
The Ally Challenge presented by McLaren is back August 22nd through 25th at Warwick Hills and Grand Blanc. Be there for PGA Tour Champions Golf, Family Night, concerts, and more. Tickets start at just $15. Get yours at allychallenge.com today.
How would you like to play the University of Michigan golf course with Braylon Edwards? You know the legend, Braylon Edwards. It's a Randy White Celebrity Golf Tour Register today. And you can round off our foursome.
Oh, Jesus.
At WoodwardSports.com and scan the code on the screen. When it comes to your next car truck, make the wise decision. What is that? Randy Wise Automotive.
Randy.
Welcome back. This has been a good show. Chat family has definitely been putting on. If you haven't gotten the opportunity to, go ahead and smash that like button to support the Woo Crew. Go ahead and satisfy it. Chat they've been engaging. They've been funny. They've been, debating. They've agreed. They've disagreed. It's been awesome Tuesday show.
You gotta go, eventually, maybe you'll do it in mailbag. Scroll back and treat all Mitten Maid's nicknames. Bernice Rakestraw.
There's some fire names.
There's some fire names.
The neutralizer. Before, real quick, actually, we're gonna do that in mailbag. You do you?
Right. Yeah. No, let's get that spark, Broder. You can spark up real quick. Got all this.
Let's go to the most electrifying segment on the internet.
Bum, bum, bum.
It's What's Trending with JB. Live on Wake Up Woodward.
Ladies and gentlemen, JB Smooth.
Let's rock.
Hey, what's up, fellas?
What up, though?
What's going on, Broder? I'm never playing baseball. I'm gonna be real with you right now. I'm not gonna play baseball. Look, even though me and KG, we love our little action sports, wrestling, UFC, football. I know injuries come from that. But if you want to sit here and tell me I'm going to get a 90 miles per hour fastball thrown at my face and it connects,
good on that.
At my face.
I'm good. Just like my man James McCann did yesterday.
Oh
shit.
No!
To the face.
No!
Jesus.
In the face. Word to Rob Riggle.
Holy shit.
By the way, former Tiger James McCann.
Yeah.
But this man is tough as ever because
Right
he
in
still
the
came back
nose.
and literally was a catcher for the remainder of the game.
Did he get taken out?
He did not get taken out.
That's a broken nose.
This is Broder's stand on the desk moment.
He
for
did-
Stephen A. Smith.
Thank you, Kool-Aid.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I teed it up.
You
That's scary, man.
baseball players aren't tough. They just stand in the outfield. They stand in the outfield and chew pumpkin seeds.
Oh, he's not tough. Look at this. Look at this guy.
Smiling through the pain. Playing through the pain.
Stephen A. Smith, no, baseball players don't chew pumpkin seeds.
Well, look, we know that James McCann listens to the show, and he was like, how can I let Broder down?
He couldn't.
He couldn't.
He could. The fact that he didn't get, realistically, the fact that he didn't get taken out of the game is wild.
That's
like for
crazy.
concussion protocol
Yeah,
or
that's
something.
crazy.
Like, and he's a catcher?
Took a 95 mile per hour ball to the nose. That's
I'm good.
Scary shit.
I am good.
That's scary shit right there.
Goodness.
I'm good.
That could have
Just
went
look at
so
this.
many other ways. I'm glad he's all right.
Yeah, the prayers out there, man. I'm glad he's all right. Hopefully he's got a couple days off because that just looked brutal as ever. But KG,
what up?
Our champion, Mr. Cody Rhodes, went shoe shopping the other day on Complex Magazine, and he racked up quite a tab. If you don't know about it, I didn't know shoes got this expensive.
Oh, no,
I'm sorry.
They the designer shoes, absolutely, man. He got all designer shoes, and he got some nice picks. If I must say so myself, man. I'm a big Nike guy. He got a lot of Travis Scotts. I like some of the Travis Scotts, but yeah. Luxury shoes, man, they are pricey. But shout out to Cody, man. He got some kind of black roots or something, man. Something going on with Cody because
that's a tab. I'm sorry.
I like Cody
Brandy
Rhodes.
the Nike collection, like something going on with that, man.
I like Cody Rhodes, man. I told you guys as I'm getting back into wrestling, Cody Rhodes was a wrestler. I was like, you know what? I like the charisma. I like the way that he can entertain and captivate, man.
Yeah.
And so it was cool to see him as well in the storyline finally break through. Got to see him live at the SummerSlam.
You need to thank Roman for that too.
It was dope.
Thank the tribal chief for putting Cody Rhodes on.
One day, I will have a story similar to Cody Rhodes and the tribal chief. I will be able to thank you for letting me win embarking one day, right?
Nah. You gotta earn that, brother. You gotta earn that.
You gotta earn that one. And man, this tab is a lot. $9 grand.
Oh, $9 grand.
That's the total. $9 grand. It was a total, but $7 just for one shoe.
Them WWE checks must be nice.
I guess so.
Goddamn.
Jeez, that is a lot right there. Now, you guys know about posterizing, right? Getting posterized.
Like in basketball?
Get dunked on.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it's never happened to me, but I've definitely seen it.
Excuse me. I'm sorry it hasn't happened to you. But have you ever been posterized while, out just driving your car in traffic?
Wait, what?
Yeah, they fight.
No shit.
The power jump! The power jump,
He
dog!
bad as fuck. Dog, hold on, run that back,
And he
bro.
was provoked, though, right?
Run
Somebody
that
threw
back.
something at him.
No, I'd have beat his ass. He had got out and did that shit.
But they threw something at him first.
Dog. Oh, that's a chick.
What? See, she threw something.
She threw something at him first.
Like, power
I don't
jump.
care. What is the fuck are you getting out your car?
He went
for?
straight up Homelander on the mirror, dog.
Listen, the power jump and the dress shows you he doesn't know how to fight. That's an instant. My man cannot fight if he doing shit like this. So you know how easy it is to knock off a mirror. Like anybody
look at the
can do
strut
that.
back like he dropped the bomb and there's like an explosion behind him. That's what gets me, dog. This the calmness.
First of all, that's a chick
Look
you
at
doing
him.
that to, man. How tough
Look
are
at
you
him.
doing that to a fucking chick? And secondly, like you in a Corvette, man.
That's
keep
true,
keep
dog.
fucking
You out here
rolling,
scaring
man.
girls. Like, what are we doing?
Boy, I'd have beat his ass.
Miami
man.
is different. It's Florida. It's Florida. Is that Florida, man?
Yeah.
That's
Florida
Miami's
man
different.
for sure.
That's Florida, man, for real.
He did the Mario jump though. You gotta have a little coin noise when you jump in there.
KG,
Boy,
you're
get him
putting
the
me
fuck
out
out
over
of
here.
here, bro. Get him the fuck out of here, dog. What are we talking about?
It's the power jump for me,
Right, man.
dog. One more time.
One more time.
Power slapped his ass.
Yeet.
What?
Low-key, is that a baddie in that car about to get out?
Maybe. I don't know, Broder. You got to check her out for me. Let me know.
snap,
Let me know.
There's a little bit more of the video that I can show. She actually gets out of the car. So hold on.
I like me a little Latina.
Oh,
I think it's a Latino girl, but she gets out of the car.
Oh, there's more.
Oh, there you go, Broder. Yeah, of course he
Kinda
pulls
looks like
off in
Kelsey
his
drives
fucking
off.
Corvette.
Looks like Kelsey Plum, the lefty.
Yeah.
Wait, you did all of that, and you drive off a little bit faster when she actually got off
Yeah,
the car?
of course. It is Corvette. Like, get the fuck on, man. What did she even do to him? Like, I don't understand. Why he even stopped and got out like that?
Mid-man to karate chop the mirror is nasty.
That's diabolical.
Speaking of Kelsey Plum, best player in the women's NBA, baddest player in the women's NBA.
Dog.
Factual.
Oh my goodness.
Factual.
Sorry, Spenny. Cameron Brink don't got nothing on Kelsey Plum.
I mean, let's not do all that just yet. I mean, Cameron Brink is still out and out there, but moving on. I've never seen.
He said that was Neil in Florida last week.
Oh God!
I'm sorry. Shout out, who was that?
Neil in Florida.
JP17.
Yeah, JP17.
Oh my God. I want to think Neil a little tougher than that. He not power jumping somebody's car mirror.
You gotta take up for our guy.
I gotta stick up for Neil.
You
on
gotta
that
take
one.
up for our guy.
Neil go fisticuffs. He not doing that, man.
I don't think Neil would do
Doing that
anything
to a
like
fucking
that,
woman.
man.
Get out of here, man.
Oh my God! I don't think Neil would do anything like that. But then also, I don't think you would be upset if your son did anything like this. I've never seen a mom get upset for their son dunking on someone.
Oh yeah, he going up. Oh!
And he broke the rim.
Is that his mom?
That is his mom that stands up right here.
She's upset?
She's upset.
Bro, that is a moment that kid will never forget.
Yeah,
What
for
is
real.
She's pissed.
What is he yelling? Is he saying, I hope you got it?
Yeah.
As in, you paying for that
Yeah,
backboard?
you paying for that
That ain't
backboard.
me.
Dog, that's some mom that done went through like 5 of them things and she fed up. Like she fed the fuck up.
I love it, dog. Yo, that's
Like
my
every
grandma.
time I buy you a glass backboard, you break it, and now you at school breaking backboards.
Bro, that's
like,
how my grandma was, dog. Like, you got that. I got on my
you got
pocketbook, bro.
I hope you got it.
Hey, that's
I hope you do got it. I hope you do got it. And finally, I will end what's trending with this as well too. This is your future Chuck Norris, everybody.
Chuck Norris. Oh, oh, big boy ain't playing. Oh, damn! He just could not get that leg up, man. He been trying to get that leg up the whole time.
Oh no!
Just died on him midair.
Oh no! They set him up, dog.
Wow. Yeah, why they do that?
Hey, who's recording? How did this make it?
Is the instructor laugh?
People are so cruel.
Hold on, did the instructor laugh? I think he laughed.
That is wild.
Oh my goodness.
Tell us to Ryan's reaction. $4.99 super chat. He said, "You know that ain't his first backboard."
No, for
No,
I'm
it's
trying to
not.
figure out: is
It's
he
not.
talking about this guy falling on his back, or is he talking about the guy who dunked?
It's got to be the guy who dunked. But that's it for what's trending, you guys. Let's hop into some mailbag.
Boy,
that's hilarious. Good job.
Let me tell you about Feldman Chevrolet. Since 1996, Feldman Chevrolet Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, first-class car buying experience called the Feldman Advantage. They got 18 locations, so there's got to be a dealership in your backyard. Go visit FeldmanAuto.com to find the location nearest you. Feldman Chevrolet, Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer.
Let's rock.
It's mailbag time.
Wake up Woodward mailbag segment
Let's do
presented
this.
by the Feldman Automotive Group.
Get your questions in. I got some copied, but Justin first. You have a message to send to one of the, maybe a Mount Rushmore, one of the stars of Detroit.
Yes, sir. Hey, shout out to Dylan Larkin, D-Boss.
Shout out.
Lakeland
D-Boss.
native. Happy birthday, dog. Happy 28th birthday. The prime of your career. Lead this Red Wings team to the playoffs. You got this. Please stay healthy. We hope you stay healthy. You deserve good health and a good season. That last injury for you was brutal, and we need you out there. So, less up to you. I hope you have a great day.
Boom.
What a story, man.
Boom.
What a story. Local kid. Let's rock.
Definitely. Noah M. Mailbag. With Decker's extension, do we think they'll still eventually move Sewell back to the left, or are they more comfortable leaving him on the right side? Anybody want it?
Wait, say that again?
With Decker's extension, do we think they'll still eventually move Sewell back to the left, or are they comfortable leaving him on the right side?
Maybe when Taylor Decker eventually leaves the team, maybe that's a possibility. But I said it yesterday: if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah,
He's mastered the right tackle position. He's an all-pro at the right tackle position. Just leave him there. What's the problem with that?
Yeah,
like that
he's
too.
not moving.
Yeah,
and Taylor Decker's not moving either. I don't know if that was a demand or just part of the negotiation process. He wants to play left tackle.
Yeah.
And like you said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Ed O'Neill, mailbag. As we get closer to the season, what is one team that you could guarantee miss the playoffs? What team would it be? Guarantee a team missing the playoffs?
In the NFL?
In the NFL?
Yeah, in the NFL.
Just
Vikings.
everybody?
I think the
name a team.
I know that. Like, if we're talking about ones that are projected to make it, I could see the world where the Packers just miss out. It could have happened to them last year. I know that people have some high expectations for them, but I could see them being a team that just misses out.
Let me reread this. One team you will guarantee misses the playoffs.
Guarantee.
Not maybe. Guarantee. Stand on business.
I got one.
I mean, the Bears? They're not making the playoffs.
Hell yeah.
One team formerly known as America's team, the Dallas Cowboys.
Let's go, baby.
I guarantee they will not make the playoffs.
That's right.
I know.
Guarantee.
I'm crazy.
I'll guarantee one. I'll guarantee the New England Patriots do not make the playoffs.
That's low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, that was easy.
Low-hanging fruit.
Like, I can see here and say the Commanders aren't going to make it. I know for damn sure they're not going to make it.
They might, though. They might
The Raiders aren't going to make it.
Trade. What's happening in the chat?
Oh, no.
I saw rushing, and I was like, wait, with the Dodgers? Dalton rushing? What's happening?
Panthers and
I don't see anything in MLB yet.
We'll see. We'll let you guys dig in, find the trade.
Yeah.
Kool-Aid.
I'm going to say the Bills.
Oh, they guarantee missing the playoffs?
Yep.
Freaking love that.
I've stayed on that train. I got to stand on business with that train. I just don't see. I see the regression. The regression is there. They lost so many key pieces, and it's so hard to continue to bounce back every single year when you lose your veteran pieces, your offensive line, your safeties, your defensive, your corners.
Definitely. Mailbag, Steve DeYoung. Do any other players get an extension before the season starts, and why is it McNeil?
People, when they heard the Taylor Decker news, I saw the chat. They're on the side of get this deal done for Liam McNeil. I'm under the perspective that maybe he's one of those first major important pieces that's sacrificed as it relates to you can't pay everybody, but it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I think he's he's next up, him and Hutch. So if they do something before the season, I would think it's him. It's him. Desert Stallion 14 mailbag. Is Jonah Jackson the first Premier Loss player of the brand new Lions? To not disrespect Jonah Jackson, I'll say yes, because he was an important part of that offensive line. But at the same time, I think he got market value with the Rams, but I do think it's a bit of an overpay. And maybe I think that because of the deals we got for both Glasgow and Zeitler versus the huge guard contracts.
I almost felt like it's an upgrade for the Lions.
Yeah.
That's in my opinion.
Yeah. No, they became a better pass blocking offensive line group, to be determined. Kevin Zeitler, I don't believe, is as good of a run blocker as Jonah Jackson, but I'll put him in that group. I mean, Premier, say what you want, but it's the first Lion who was a part of the rebirth, the core, that stuff that has moved on. But that's part of what I trust. Like, I like that if they had to let someone go, they let him go and they replaced him how he did. I think it worked perfect.
Who would you have rather retained? And it's still not known that Aleem McNeil is someone that they're going to retain, but who is it that you would have rather them do? Keep Jonah Jackson or Aleem McNeil?
Oh, Aleem McNeil. Yeah. 100%. Did they even lose anybody else big time? DJ Gardner-Johnson? I'm not worried about that.
Yeah. No. And that's my thing, too. It's like, okay, if they're going to lose somebody, if they can kind of you lose a CJ, GJ, and then you go out and you get 4 secondary players, 2 in the draft, 2 in free agency, I don't really count that as losing somebody big. It'd be different if you lost somebody and you don't really have anything to make up for that loss. But when you have the opportunity to be better than when you had that player, I think that's called cooking.
No doubt. Chat, we're going to go for 4 or 5 more minutes. Another mailbag question, a good one. Which preseason opponent would you most want us to joint practice with? The Steelers, the Giants, and the Chiefs?
That's easy. The Chiefs. The pedigree.
Okay.
The pedigree. You see what breeds the champions, what you need to be at the end of the season to beat probably them in the Super Bowl. I think the Chiefs. It's a simple answer.
They've done it with the Giants before, and there's a great relationship between Brian Dable and Dan Campbell and the two organizations. I'm gonna take one out of. I'm gonna go Steelers, just because of how they've rebuilt their team. Tomlin, they're now built through their offensive line, and they have Justin Fields, Russell Wilson, quarterbacks the Lions have struggled with and are going to run into.
Kind of the original grit team.
Yeah. It's hard to not pick the Chiefs, and it's hard to not pick the Giants because of how they can practice.
If there was any team that's not on our preseason schedule, who would it be? Because mine would be the Texans.
That would be fun.
I think that would be fun.
And DeMeco Ryans, Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
Ooh.
2 upstarts in the different divisions. I love it.
I love it. Have you guys figured out if there is a trade?
Nah, I'm searching everywhere.
Yeah,
I haven't seen anything
I've looked all around.
Just pump trade into the chat without.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Elijah. Oh wait, no, it was Elijah.
So pump fake.
Elijah.
I thought it was DNC. DNC usually is pretty accurate when he says there's a trade.
Well, look, that's why we take our time with these things.
Yeah.
I got nothing though.
You got nothing.
Yeah,
I might have something for you three. I think this is wrestling related. Shad216JF. Mailbag. Is it weird I accidentally called Rhea Ripley mommy while talking to my fiance? Should I be worried?
Oh, shit.
She hasn't texted me back since 9/12.
You got to be careful with that mommy word, man. But no, it's not a surprise because, that's kind of her nickname. That's what everybody knows her as, mommy. But, yeah, you can't be saying that around the wife, man. That's an L.
Yeah, you definitely cannot be saying that around a wife, especially if wrestling is on as well, too, and you're not giving her that direct attention. You don't know where that can lead to as well. And I was trying to tell Justin about this earlier in the game, College Football 25. I don't know how many people have played the Road to Dynasty mode where you're just that single player. But apparently they're trying to make it as realistic as they can. So a couple games into the season, you get a text message from basically like a groupie called Audrey or something like this. Basically kind of enticing you to go and hang out and do parties and whatnot and skip studying in practice as well too.
You don't want to seem too desperate.
You don't want to seem too desperate. And also now every guy that's playing this, their girl has now kind of caught on and is like, who the hell is Audrey? Why are you texting Audrey? Who the hell is this Audrey person? So it's kind of gotten a little crazy.
All right, last question. Herb Nash. What round do you guys see J-Mo getting drafted in fantasy football?
Ooh.
High risk, high reward? What do you think? I'm a little tapped out of the fantasy football game, but we're talking about projecting receptions.
He's probably going to be a little lower just based off of what people think about him outside of Lions fandom. He did have a lackluster year in fantasy wise last year. A lot of people were already projecting him to have a big year last year, and it didn't happen. So I would say definitely lower rounds, but he could be a steal though. So I encourage people, if you're building your team, consider J-Mo as that maybe wide receiver 2, maybe not wide receiver 1, but wide receiver 2, absolutely.
Running, receiving, touchdowns through the air, on the ground potentially.
Things for fantasy football. How much can you count on week to week? As a season, I think he could have a great season with the Lions, but he could have a game where it's 2 receptions for 95 yards and no touchdown. He's gonna have some funky stat line.
Yeah.
So he's going as the wide receiver 49 on the board. And so I'd say that's a little bit of a value price because he is you're usually not getting true wide receiver 2s in that value spot. So I mean, if he explodes at all and he goes over 800 receiving yards, maybe 200 all-purpose yards, 1,000 all-purpose, couple touchdowns, that's a worth drafting at that ADP.
That's a really great point. And I was listening to Jeff Risdon last night on his podcast with Chris. She was the Lions. I'll find before the end of the show. I'll find out what exactly it's called. But Jeff Risdon was talking about the receptions or the lack thereof that are going to be available to whoever the number 3 receiver is. Is there's going to be a steep drop off after St. Brown, J-Mo, Sam Laporta, Gibbs. Who's going to be that number 3? They might not get many targets. Maybe Khalif Raymond. But you're right. J-Mo could end up being a steal. He's going to be a tough one in fantasy football. But I got a lot more to talk about tomorrow. Training camp.
I can't wait.
We'll learn about the trade deadline. I wish we had another hour or 2 of this show. But I guess you guys got to wait. What do they say on Around the Horn?
They say
23.5-hour break.
23.5-hour break. What do we have?
It's less.
22?
21.5-hour break. 21 and 54-minute hour break.
Something like that.
Something like that. What a show.
What a show. Time to break this thing down?
Yes, sir.
Shout out to our brother, Flannel Sam Reynolds. Brother, enjoy your time. Enjoy your vacation. Enjoy celebrating family as well. Shout out again to your sister as well as you, Flannel. You guys are chasing your dreams. It's cool to see people succeed, especially family supporting family. I'm big with that. So, brother, enjoy your time. Let's break this thing down.
And keep calling out CJ Gardner-Johnson on Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. Flannel called out CJ Gardner-Johnson on Twitter.
Jeez.
Hey, Charles.
Oh, Jazz Chisholm hit 2 home runs last night.
Oh.
He's so bad, though.
Hey, he's back.
He's finally on the right.
Yeah, I know, right?
Which is terrifying.
Yeah.
Shout out to the chat as well. We zoomed straight through that like goal. If you haven't gotten the opportunity today, go on ahead and hit that like button some more. Yeah, the chat has been on one. Mike G, great show, boys. Well, Gucci. All right, let's break this thing.
Gucci, Wally, Gucci, baby.
So, Broder got the chat fired up. That dude Justin, though, 6-man, coach, just everything, man. Shout out to that dude Justin.
Hey, great show, guys.
Right.
Shout out Chat Fam and shout out Devin the dog. This shirt
shout out to Devin.
Is so sick. I appreciate you so much.
This is awesome, man. It's awesome. Let's continue to thrive today. Shout out to our elite booth. Wonderful. Rocky.
There you go. Don't stop.
Elite.
Yeah.
Better than good. I'm talking great.
Damn right.
The way these dudes do what they do, ain't nobody doing what they do. Shout out to KG in the sound booth. That is Detroit's #1 draft pick.
You know it.
AKA Black Hollywood.
Hey, and your reigning 3-time Bar King. But, hey, shout out to Devin the Dog for the nasty merch. This is nasty right here, man. Can't wait. Probably rocking this tomorrow. But y'all plug 50, what is it, 51 clothing? Y'all go look for 51 clothing, man. But shout out to the team. Great day today. We're going to be scouring the waiver wires. Don't be dropping fake trades in the chat. So,
shout out to our
come on, Elijah. Do better.
Shout out to our tribal chief over there. That was KG. Invite to Cody Rhodes. Shout out to Woodward Sports' MVP in the TD booth. I'm sorry, it's a Tuesday. Let me do that more appropriately. In the TD booth, it is JB Smooth.
Here we go. Amazing show by you guys once again. Shout out to Devin the Dog for stopping by, dropping off some merch for us. Amazing gear, like KG said. Go and find him and his merch. Get some of that merch. Support one of our chat members and one of our fellow boys here at Woodward Sports. But also, Broder, I don't know who this dude is, but Uchi Coochie. I don't know whatever this dude's name is, but you gotta support this man. What's up?
Real quick, there's a picture right in Slack as he says goodbye. Kool-Aid says goodbye. From Big Show Picks, his son Peyton was watching us this morning from his crib.
Oh,
hey, you get a chance. Throw that up. Big Show Picks if you're still in there. But Kool-Aid, you can Coochie
gang.
Coochie gang.
Lions training camp.
Coochie gang,
dog.
coochie gang,
I'm
coochie
fired
gang,
up,
coochie
dog. Man, my birthday's around the corner. That means I get to actually see the Detroit Lions on the field in pads the day after on August 8th. And then, as you guys saw, the counter 40 days away for Detroit Lions regular season football. I can't wait. I'm pumped up. This is our credentialed Tigers and Lions reporter and writer, Matthew Broder. You did a great job today, especially handling that Tigers.
Thank you. I appreciate that. This is a wild time. Wild time. Exciting time.
Hey, it's your boy Brandon, a.k.a. Detroit Kool-Aid, your credentialed Detroit Pistons reporter and writer for the network. Oh, man, it's been a good show. Chat family, as always, you guys are the best. Hopefully you guys have an even better day. Stay blessed. It's been Wake Up.
Hang on, don't say bye yet.
Hey!
Throw this on real quick.
Check this out.
This is Peyton, Big Show Pick's son.
Hey!
He texted me. He says the boy don't miss.
Locked in.
Listen, the boy don't miss. He said if Texas is selling, go get Seager. I don't think Texas is selling, but nonetheless.
Right.
How about that?
Shout out,
he's locked
man.
in. He's checked in.
The wise guy. All right, cool. Give me that.
You know what? Thank you for remembering that, man. Oh, because the chat family be calling us out when we don't do the chest pass.
Coochie gang.
I see it in the chat, man.
Coochie gang, coochie gang, coochie gang.
Man. Broder.
Gucci gang.
Coochie gang.
It's been a day. Have a blessed one, you all. Thank you for the support. Tap into Big D Energy and everybody else in the Sports Network.